From the Cleary Alumni Center on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, it's the Mike Schmidt Football Show. Brought to you by Honda Motorworks, your electric and hybrid headquarters at 4th and Cass. By Schilling Supply, serving businesses with critical supplies since 1897. By Schumacher Kish Cremation and Funeral Services in La Crosse, La Crescent, and Onalaska. By 360 Real Estate Solutions, they've got the keys to your new home. And by Market & Johnson, Western Wisconsin's construction leader, adding value to everything they do. Now, here's the host of today's program, Terry Erickson.
Welcome to UW La Crosse. We are in the Clary and Friends Alumni Center for the Mike Schmidt Football Show here on KQEG. The show is live on the stream and also played back each Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. We want to begin, like we do each week, with acknowledging sponsors that help bring this show to you. Schilling Supply, Honda Motorworks, Schumacher Kish Funeral Homes, 360 Real Estate, and Market & Johnson. We also want to thank our guests for being here each and every week, coaching staff, community guests, in support of Coach Mike Schmidt and Eagle football. Many familiar faces, we appreciate you being here. And now, the star of the show, Coach Mike Schmidt.
The sun came up, we're back after it, and here we go.
Before we review the Whitewater game, I met with you like I do every Friday.
Yep.
And you said to me, Terry, you said, this is maybe the best, one of the best, if not the best team in Division III in the nation.
Yeah.
And it proved that, but we're going to break it down. But you said that, and you reinforced it a couple of times, and you still mean that, don't you?
Yeah, I think we ran into a pretty good team. You got a lot of talent, well coached. Ran into a really good team, and unfortunately, we stood toe to toe with those guys for a long time, and we sure gave our biggest punch and took their biggest for a long time, and at the end, just got grinded out at the end. But boy, really proud of our team, the way we played, and yeah, that's one of the best defenses talent-wise that I've seen, in my time in Division III, and certainly one of the better teams we've played. So hats off to those guys. Great game that we had for a long time with them, and yeah, hey, good team, and now we bounce back from it.
This is something I'm going to surprise you with, but I happened to run across Ben Shramsky this weekend, okay?
Yep.
And a couple of things.
He wasn't wearing lederhosen, was he? Okay.
Maybe underneath his slacks.
All right. Just make sure.
But he said to me, he said that he accepted the blame. Now, the kind of quality person he is, he said, Terry, I accept the blame for the way the offense played. I have to do better, and I will in the remaining games. You can be assured of that. But then he said something even more powerful. Here's what he said. I have played for many coaches in my lifetime, because he's transferred, of course.
Yeah, you bet.
He played for several high school, at the high school level and the youth level. He said, I'm paraphrasing now. He said, I played for many coaches. I've never played for a guy that's more positive, more upbeat. Instead of getting in our face and hollering and getting upset about the way we played, he was calm, he was poised, and he said, this loss does not define us. He said, this loss will only help us to get better. We are still in the hunt, and we will have a great year. Now, I'm paraphrasing what he told me that you said to your team.
Yep.
That's powerful.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You look at who's played a tougher stretch the last 3 weeks than we have. I don't know that many teams out there have. We go from Illinois Wesleyan, who is in control of the CCIW right now. We play a really good Dickinson State team, and then Whitewater here. We've had a tough stretch here, and we've come out with 1 win and 2 losses out of that stretch. But we have a lot ahead of us. Everything that we want is still ahead of us. And, I think what he's talking about there a lot, Max Brower gets beat, and I know we'll talk about the game, but Max Brower gets beat, Colton Neiman get beat on touchdowns, and what are we going to do? The guys feel bad about it. Ben throws an interception. He feels bad about it. Those guys, they walk off the field, and the first thing I did to all 3 of them in all of those situations was I gave them a big hug, held them tight, and I said, we're going to need you here in some capacity on one of these plays coming up to help us win the game. What does yelling at the guy have? What's that going to do for us? It's not going to do anything. I gave all of them big, huge hugs as they came off the field, told them I loved them, told them I still believed in them, and I would do the same thing for any one of our players because we got great kids. They're trying to win the football game, and going in a negative light, it's not going to help anybody out.
We're going to meet 2 of those kids. You said you have great kids, and we're going to meet a couple of them. But for our viewers in particular, that approach, that reaction, that statement to your team is not common. That is an unusual way to treat your players.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's just our way that we want to do it, is give them just as much love as we possibly can. And if you're going to do it all the time and you're going to ask them to keep their poise, and then as the coach, you know what, you have to do that too. And I thought, going into that game, I said, and I told our team that, I said, go have as much fun as you can because I know I'm going to. And I did. I had a lot of fun. I know our guys did too. And hate and fear, that's not gonna win games. Love at our place is always gonna be our way.
I caught on the sideline as broadcasting the game. I caught 2 times when you actually broke into a smile to your players, and you broke into a smile to a friend of mine, the white hat that was working the game, Chuck Morning.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I thought we had a great relationship with the officials throughout the game, and again, those guys are like, I mean, they work other jobs, they're teachers and whatever else in the community throughout the week. I mean, this isn't what they do for a living. Let's have as much fun with those guys as we can, and hopefully, they do just such a great job for all of us. So why not have a great relationship with all of them? Have as much fun as you possibly can.
And you did. All right, let's break the game down
You bet.
quickly. All right, scoreless after 1 quarter. Best quarter of the season. Best half of the season. You took away a lot of good things.
Yeah, we had a really good half. I mean, defensively especially, we had a great half. Played really fast, played really physical football there. Really had a nice job up front. Our D-line and Coach Janis did a great job with the scheme of getting things moved around to help out the run game. We kept plays in front of us in the back end. Played a bunch of different coverages, which is what we said we wanted to do. We wanted to be really multiple up front, multiple in the back end, and you go in and you have a great half defensively and give yourself a shot at halftime at least.
A methodical drive in the second quarter. You have a fake punt. You told me in the meeting you might be a little aggressive in fake punt. And of course the recipient, Kyle Cable, Sean Parker to Kyle Cable. Great play selection in my view in that particular drive. A very methodical, well executed. You selected plays well, culminated in Ben Shramsky's 6-yard run, 7-3 at half. What'd you say to your team at halftime?
Nothing. It's funny. I didn't say anything to those guys they're smiling over there right now. I didn't say anything to them before the game. I didn't say anything to them at halftime, other than let's go finish this thing and let's go win it. What do we have to say? I mean, what is there left to say? You're up 7-3 against Whitewater. Me yelling something or giving them a motivational talk, that's not going to do anything else. They're in position and they have a shot to win the football game in that thing. Let's go do it.
You held Whitewater 79 yards and 1 for 6 on third down conversions, and then in the first half, then in the third quarter, after multiple penalties, and you said that Whitewater is one of the most penalized teams in the nation.
Yep.
The 28-yard pass, fourth quarter, 3 touchdowns. Yep. And no huddle offense was part of their success.
Well, you know what happened, and I said this I think on the show last week, and we talked about it a lot. You can't go 10-7 with these guys. And where do we find ourselves going in the fourth quarter? 10-7. They're going to grind you up. They got a couple big plays in there. You know, Max doesn't make a play in the end zone. Colton falls down playing man-to-man coverage, and that's what happens when you're all alone and you fall down and there's nobody else to help you out. There's no deep middle safety that's there to help you out. So they get that 17-7 lead, and then, you know, we go for it on fourth down. We throw the interception, and, you know, they score at the end where we're letting them score so we can get the ball back, get an opportunity to at least try to get in the game at some point, try to win the game till the end. But big plays cost you, and I said this last week, you can't play these guys 10-7 because they're going to grind you up. Going into the fourth, there we are, 10-7 with them, and hey, really proud of our team. Said I loved them, told them that I'm proud of their effort. If we can play like that effort the rest of the way, we got a shot to win the rest of them.
I think you define, as we close the first segment, you define success on the scoreboard, naturally,
yes,
but you define it on success of your effort too. And
sure.
I agree with you. We're going to talk about your lack of maybe a running game you need to work on. Everyone knows that. Third down conversions. But we're going to take a break just for a minute. When we come back, we're going to be joined by 2 members of the Eagle football team right after this.
The all-new Honda Fit gives you the flexibility of the Magic Seat with the fuel efficiency you celebrate at the pump. From Honda Motor Works.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motor Works.
Since 1897, Schilling Supply Company has been your single-source provider of business solutions and supplies. Their 65,000 square foot facility stocks over 3,000 items ranging from packaging, janitorial, industrial, food processing, safety, and specialty products. Schilling Supply provides the essentials you need to meet your customers' and employees' expectations. Businesses like Gunderson, Quick Trip, Dynamic Recycling, and Badger Corrugating rely on Schilling Supply to deliver the right products at the right time. Schilling Supply Company. Visit on the web or call.
Stunning from any angle, the HR-V is a crossover of style and versatility.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motor Works.
Welcome back to the Mike Schmidt Football Show. We're joined by two student-athlete guests, AJ Villarreal and Kyle Cable. Two guys who play the same position, two guys that I see on the field quite a bit. Thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, great players for us. They sure get to spend a lot of time with me throughout their career here with position meetings and team meetings. They're kind of always around me. But, man, love these guys. They play I mean, since I've been here, they've been playing on special teams, and I mean, Kyle was on pretty much. Both of them are pretty much on every special team. Have been the last 2 years, and playing a ton for us, and find themselves in big time roles here now within our defense and what we're doing there. So both had big plays in the game the other day. You know, AJ's he has the fumble recovery, but the hit that he has on the sideline, the pass breakup that he has on their sideline were just big time plays within that game and helped us out. So really played his butt off, and you're going to have to take a bigger role now with Pete Kissling probably being done for quite a while, and then Kyle comes in and plays in a bunch of different roles for us all the time, kind of what he's always been, like the Swiss Army knife for us that he is. But boy, both great players, great guys, great teammates for us.
They are. I noticed the leadership abilities in both. Well, let's start with AJ. I know we all watched Peter Kissling being taken off the field, his arm, elbow. Hopefully he'll be back. But there was a flavor in the paper and in the article that you guys all were deeply upset about that, and that you rallied after that, and it picked up your game, and perhaps even will pick the game up more in the next few weeks.
Well, yeah, he's always been a good buddy of mine. I started out here with him. We were freshmen together. We've grown up playing in this program together, and seeing him go down, it hurts because I've been behind him, and he struggled with some injuries last year and missed a few games, and now to see his senior season kind of like window away, like, it just hurts to see him do that, and like I want to play the best game for him, putting us in a playoff spot, potentially giving him time to maybe come back and play in the playoffs. So we just tried to rally behind him and play our butts off for him.
So addressing that real quickly, there is a chance that he will be back, right, Coach?
Don't really know yet. Really don't know. It's time will tell, and we'll kind of see what's going to happen. We really have no idea on it right now.
Well, we talked in the first about Kyle Cable's reception on that fake punt, and I talked a lot about your athleticism during that play, watching you play at home in high school, by the way. And were you the featured receiver, or did he audibilize and just go to the guy that was open?
Well, it might surprise you, but I was the featured receiver, now playing defensive back. But no, it was something we put in the week, and we've been looking at some looks with Speaker the previous weeks, so kind of putting somebody on the other side and looking for something for a fake punt, and it happened to be me. So
why would that surprise me? I mean, I saw you play at home in multiple sports, and then I see you watch your younger brother now, who beat the Logan Rangers the other night. My two grandsons on that team, I wasn't too happy about that one, but the Holman people were. But talk about your high school days.
Well, geez, I got to relive the glory days. No, I enjoy going to watch my brother play, and I feel bad for every once in a while when parents talked about it. when I was at home on Friday night that every once in a while, either on the PA system or on the news, they say Kyle Cable instead of Kevin Cable, and I kind of feel bad because he's out there doing his best and always playing well, and I think he's probably a better athlete than I was. But you know what? I try not to live too much about, back in the day. But I do like going back and watching the coaches and watching my younger brother play.
Sure, because you left a great legacy. Well, a coach's son, so you really maybe understand the game more than maybe even some. What thoughts on that?
The game, well, you talking from my dad being a coach?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he coached basketball. I think the biggest thing I've talked to you about a couple of times is when somebody comes up to me and they're like, oh, you must play basketball at UWL, and I say, no, I actually play football. And it's kind of hard sometimes, but I chose football because, it was something I grew up playing, and I had a bunch of buddies that I played with, and game stuck with me, and I kind of tend to get away from basketball and chose football.
Good for you. Well, you've done well. So I know Kyle wants to steal the show, but we got to go back to AJ a little bit to talk about from Lyons Township High School in LaGrange, Illinois.
Yeah.
Were you a star?
I mean, up until my senior year, no. I played a very limited role. I was on kickoff, maybe a few special teams. That was about it. But going into my senior year, I was outside linebacker and middle linebacker, believe it or not, being 5'8", 140 pounds soaking wet. But then I led my team in tackles. I got defensive MVP. I was first team all-conference in the area. So I ended up making a good name for myself, but I wouldn't say I was a superstar, and definitely wasn't the biggest star on that team. We had a couple guys go to big D1 schools. One went to Mizzou and was a traveler and played in the Rose Bowl. One went to Lafayette and broke all the records they had for their receiving corps, but I definitely did have a good senior year at my high school.
Well, you said you weren't the best, but you must have been right near the top. Recruiting, though. You had a chance to go other places besides UWL? You're a senior now?
Well, I actually came here to wrestle, believe it or not. I came here on a wrestling visit. I attended a game day visit, too, because football wasn't something I was really looking into. I placed in state my junior year for wrestling. I had a friend who previously came here and was a wrestler here. I was interested in the area. I loved fishing. It was right on the Mississippi River. So it gave me an opportunity to both play my sport, get a good education, and enjoy the outdoors. And I visited here, and I was just sold on the area and didn't go anywhere else, didn't look anywhere else, and just came strictly here. 22
tackles so far this year. You had a fumble recovery, a big one. You had a couple big hits, as Coach was talking about. Real quickly, your major, you're going to be a teacher, you're going to be a coach, and you're going to stay in the lacrosse area, right?
If the job and the opportunity presents itself, I am 100% for it. It's wherever the wind takes me. I'm looking to coach both wrestling and football wherever I go and just enjoy my time and enjoy the outdoors.
Who inspired you when you were young to maybe I could be a college athlete?
My dad just pushed athletics on me and my two brothers. I have a brother who actually wrestles here too, and he's just a huge advocate in supporting us and really just pushing us to play sports. And a lot of people told me I couldn't be a college football player, which I feel actually pushed me more in order to play football. I was too small, I was never going to do this and that. And I was just excited to be able to play football out here.
Yeah, you proved them wrong, didn't you, AJ?
Exactly.
Good for you. Kyle, they probably said you're too small to play college football too, but and you as a junior or finance major, you proved those doubting Thomases wrong, that's for sure.
Similar to AJ, definitely, that's for sure. So, it's been a great ride here, and we look forward to the rest of the season.
Thoughts for the rest of the year quickly as we wrap up. Goals and maybe thoughts for the team, starting with you, Kyle.
Well, Coach Schmidt said it best himself after the game when we were in the locker room. He said everything we want for us is still ahead, and in a great season, I think every team faces a little adversity, and we definitely have, but we're going to rebound, I think.
Mood of the team now as we go into the Stout game, and thoughts on the rest of the season.
We just got to pick each other up, win out, and just be our biggest support system. If we win out, we have everything we want ahead of us, and that's the biggest thing we could have going for us.
As our viewers can see, two quality athletes. Every week we bring the finest at UWL. So thanks for being on the show again. Kyle Cable, AJ Villarreal. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll be back and talk a little bit about Stout and wrap up with some other thoughts right after this.
The all-new Honda Fit gives you the flexibility of the magic seat with the fuel efficiency you celebrate at the pump. From Honda Motorworks.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motor Works.
360 Real Estate Solutions has the keys to your new home. Introducing the Hub on 6th, rooftop lofted condos for sale. Beautifully designed with open floor plans up to 3 bedrooms. The Hub has what you need for city life, from studios to 3 bedrooms to fit your lifestyle and your pocketbook with the extra touches that matter. A rooftop sports court, bike storage with a washing center, community rooms, storage units, laundry, a pet walk, and a workout room. Get your tour today at hubon6.360.bz.
Stunning from any angle, the HRV is a crossover of style and versatility.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motor Works.
All right, welcome back to the Mike Schmidt Show as we close this week's show. You know, before we talk about Stout, I noticed there are lots of high school students on the track surrounding the field before the game. And recruiting, of course, being the lifeblood of college success and coaching. Talk about when you bring recruits in for our viewers. This is, I think, an interesting thing. When you bring them in on a Saturday, what's the protocol?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that is. And on our game days, that's why it's so vital to have such a good game day atmosphere. That might be the only time that they show up to your campus. I mean, even last year we had a bunch of guys that only visited on a game day and committed after that. AJ, you just heard him in the previous segment. I came on a game day football visit and I committed after that. It's so important that our experience and the atmosphere at our game days is so good because, you know, we're trying to get the best talented athletes out of the entire Midwest here every single week for our home games. And, you know, last week we had 30, almost 40 recruits on campus that are top kids. It's not just, you know, whoever shows up. It's very targeted guys that we want for those games. And they get a chance to get around campus. They get a chance to be around us. We talk to them and visit with them in an awesome setting up in the student union, which is great. They get to be on pregame on the field with our guys, feel the energy, feel what it's like to be out there with our guys, and then obviously witness the game. So that's why it's so vital for our community to support us. It's so vital that our game day atmosphere with, from our games management side of it is so good because that might be the only shot we have at those kids. And we had a wonderful weekend recruiting some of the top talent that's out there. Tremendous response out of those guys. And looking forward to making some of those guys Eagles for sure.
Yeah, the game day experience, that's Kim and event staff, management people that make it a quality experience, and I've noticed how it gets better and better and better.
Absolutely, every week, every year, they're doing a great job.
Well, let's look at Stout. 3-1, they lost to St. John's to start the season, and they've won 3 in a row. Gustavus, California Lutheran, and they came from behind at halftime to beat Eau Claire.
Yeah.
Eau Claire, by the way, a very improved team. You have beat them in your first 2 years, and I noticed you've outscored them 63-13 in those 2 years. And I also noticed they have a couple of quality running backs, Rashawn Graham and Keyshawn Carpenter, a veteran quarterback, a good wide receiver. Talk about what we're going to see at Stout at a 2 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, homecoming for them. I mean, they're going to be juiced up. They've won 3 games in a row. This is always going to be one for them that they're going to want from us. We've had a lot of success against them the last couple of years. Had to play our butts off in a really tough game last year down here. I know that their head coach, Coach Birmingham, has made a couple comments about, they feel a couple years ago we beat them. They said we feel like that's a team we should beat, and we beat them 42-6. That I know that this is a game that they want, and they're certainly going to be feeling like they're going to be ready to play. I mean, they're going to have a huge bump. They've won 3 games in a row. That's hard to do no matter what. I mean, you look at it, and they're going to be ready for the game. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere up there on their homecoming. They've been playing a freshman quarterback as of late, and he's been doing a great job for them. Their offense had a wonderful day last week against Eau Claire, running the football, throwing the football, really balanced with that, some big-time explosive plays too. So, yeah, hey, we got our hands full going up there, and we know that. We know the kind of team that they are. They're going to be juiced up and ready to play that thing at 2 o'clock on Saturday for sure.
Well, I think the question it begs the defensive front you're going to see, the defensive approach you're going to see, because if you're into analytics and you're looking at stats, our inability to maybe run the ball as well as you want,
Absolutely.
pass the ball on offense, what challenges do they have defensively that you're going to have to master?
Oh, well, they're good defensively, and they've been really good. They've done a great job. Their coordinator was the co-assistant coach of the year last year in the league, did a great job getting that thing going, and we're going to have a lot of issues that we got to address, but we just have to play better. We have to play better across the board offensively, and I think our guys know that. And you mentioned Ben saying that he knows he's got to play a better game than what he has. Our wideouts certainly do too. We got to get the ball to Cole Speaker more and find a way to continue to find ways to get him more involved in the football game. But yeah, we got to be able to run the football, and you're seeing some of the struggles of a young offensive line. Obviously last week we played one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the country. That's a really good team, really talented and experience loaded on the defense side that Whitewater had. So we got to learn a lot of things that we went through the hard way a little bit there, and find a way to have some success running the football.
We're not going to see a defense similar to Illinois Wesleyan or Dickinson State, I should say, or Whitewater, are we?
No, and no offense to Stout or anybody there, but we've ran into two great teams, two great defenses here really in a row. But every week, especially in our league, is going to find that physicality. And I thought you saw the physicality really come out of our defense this past week, the way we were playing, and you saw that kind of tenaciousness that we've been missing on that side of the ball. So, really this week we got to see it out of our offensive side of the ball, and I know that we will.
Well, Matt Janisch put together a great schemes,
Absolutely.
and I complimented him. I compliment him here because he's here, and I also compliment him on during the game. Oshkosh over River Falls, 48-14. Platteville over Point. Any surprises?
No, River Falls really played Oshkosh tough, and Oshkosh pulled away. We were able to watch most of that game, at least into the middle of the third quarter before our game, and that was great getting to see that. And then we watched the Stout game, obviously, playing a tough rivalry game there coming out of it. So league looks good. We got our hands full the next 6 weeks, and really looking forward to it. We're hoping that guys see the same thing out of us.
Well, we'll be there for that 2 o'clock kickoff. Around campus quickly, women's soccer 7-2, receiving votes on the national poll. Volleyball 10-7, 2-1 in the WIAC. Women's tennis 5-1. Both cross-country teams ranked nationally. Women 5th, men 12th. Women's golf, first season since in the last 20 years. They compete in the WIAC championships on Friday and Saturday in Reedsburg. So, been a great show, Mike.
Been always a great show.
I appreciate all of your insight. I want to thank our sponsors again for making this show happen. We really appreciate that, and we hope that you will frequent those sponsors. We'll be here each week to talk Eagle football with Coach Schmidt. Please remember, the show is replayed on Tuesdays at 6:30. Our next show, October 9th, maybe now, Tuesday. We'll let our friends and sponsors know an in-depth look at the Stout game, and we'll look at the Stevens Point game, which is ahead. By the way, that'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff in 2 weeks.
Night game at home.
That'll be awesome. So until next week, I'm your host, Terry Erickson, for Mike Schmidt. Thanks for joining us here today on the Mike Schmidt UWL Eagle Football Show.
You've been watching the Mike Schmidt Football Show on KQEG TV. The Mike Schmidt Football Show is brought to you by Honda Motorworks, your electric and hybrid headquarters at 4th and Cass. By Schilling Supply, serving businesses with critical supplies since 1897. By Schumacher Kish Cremation and Funeral Services in La Crosse, La Crescent, and Onalaska. By 360 Real Estate Solutions, they've got the keys to your new home. And by Market & Johnson, Western Wisconsin's construction leader, adding value to everything they do. Join us next week at this same time for the Mike Schmidt Football Show.
Welcome to Game Day. The University of Wisconsin Lacrosse Eagles on KQEG TV. Today, the Eagles take on the UW Stout Blue Devils. Our game is brought to you by Tri-State Auto on the Pike between La Crosse and La Crescent. The Arterial Bar and Grill. Join the party at the Arterial Bar and Grill, 16th and Jackson. Schumacher Kish Funeral and Cremation Services in La Crosse, La Crescent, and Onalaska. Honda Motorworks, your hybrid headquarters at 4th and Cass, La Crosse. Ace of Lacrosse and Ace Sportsland in the Shelby Mall. And Howie's on La Crosse. Before or after the game, make it Howie's on La Crosse. Now let's go down to the field in the KQEG TV broadcast team, Carl Greenfield and Terry Erickson. Welcome to Game Day.
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to UW Lacrosse football on KQEG TV. I'm Carl Greenfield, joined alongside by Terry Erickson. We got Luke on our camera for this afternoon's contest between the UW Lacrosse Eagles and the UW Stout Blue Devils.
I'm looking forward to this game because we got the A team on the camera, by the way.
That's right.
So this would be the best broadcast of the year right here from Menominee, Wisconsin.
Well, we won't tell Rick that because, Rick might take a little offense to that, not being a part of this one, as, they're down at the racetrack.
Well, we got to be nice. Yeah, we got to be nice to him, by the way, because it's his birthday. So happy birthday, Rick Wilson, and in West Salem for the races.
So it's a bit chilly, but a beautiful afternoon, a little overcast. Temperature is supposed to reach the low 50s, so, it's football weather.
It
Absolutely.
Is? Beautiful? No, it's not beautiful, because I like sunshiny skies, and maybe I like an Indian summer. Now, this is not an Indian summer.
I don't think so, but so coming into this matchup, the Eagles come in 2-2, the Blue Devils come in 3-1. The Eagles lost their last matchup against UW Whitewater in the WIAC, and the Stout Blue Devils have started off their WIAC conference season with a 1-0 record, beating UW Eau Claire last week.
Let's play this real quick Did You Know game. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The very first homecoming game that ever happened at Stout was in 1917. Now, here's what's funny about it. They didn't even have a football game. They didn't even have a football team back in 1917. And then it rolled to 1922, their very first homecoming game with a team, and they got beat 3-0 by River Falls. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Anyway, some
Did
trivia.
You expect that I was going to?
Some trivia to start this afternoon's broadcast.
So these two teams obviously, have a history. The last 6 matchups, UW La Crosse has won, including last season winning in La Crosse 21-7, and the Eagles won the last matchup here 2 years ago, where Terry, you and I were here for 42-6, and so Stout trying to reverse that trend, 6 straight losses, to the Eagles.
The Stout has beaten Clay Birmingham's 11 years as head coach. They beat UWL one time, and that was in 2011. And since Mike Schmidt has taken over, they have outscored the Blue Devils 63-3. Now, that sends a pretty powerful message. And in my meeting with Mike Schmidt this week, he said, you know what's funny about that? Clay Birmingham, great coach, good person, said, one of the teams we should beat year in and year out is UWL.
And they haven't.
They haven't. But when you look at the history of this team against UWL, back to the Roger Herring days, Larry Terry days, actually dominated by La Crosse. But it's homecoming, so that may change things. And as you said, the Eagles 2 losses, 2-2, 2 tough losses, 2 losses where they were swimming with the sharks and ended up not even surfacing. And in contrast, Stout, 3-game winning streak and a huge win come from behind against Eau Claire. And finally, they are actually receiving some recognition in the national polls in the top 25, they've been mentioned. So that's pretty special.
Yeah, anytime that you can find yourself in the top 25, it's definitely a good season. And so, maybe we'll see Stout get their way up there, as the weeks go on. We're 4 weeks in, so it's the season's still young. But so last week, Terry, what were some of the things that UW La Crosse could have done differently to maybe even remain competitive in that game against Whitewater?
Here's my insight into that game. Just shortly after the game, I had a chance to talk with Ben Shramsky, the quarterback. He said, Terry, a lot of the problems we had against Whitewater were my fault. I mean, he actually owned up to the fact that his team did not play well. When you look at what they've done, he was hurried. He didn't read his progressions very well. He didn't use his legs. 46 yards on the ground and 79 yards against Dickinson State. So their ground game has really disappeared, and that is a point of concern. Anytime the ground game shuts down, it puts just more and more and more pressure on the quarterback. And the team, being one-dimensional, it's easy to play defense against a team that is going to throw the ball the bulk of the time.
And I was just going to say, most teams that are successful over extended periods of time have a good, strong running game. And to be forced to abandon it by getting behind, that can really change a football team. And it obviously changed UW La Crosse last week because they were only able to muster 158 yards of total offense. And they were trying to throw through the air, and I think it was only 47 yards on the ground.
It was.
It's difficult to be able to sustain drives and keep things going if you're unable to run the football.
Think about from this perspective: if you're one-dimensional and you don't keep balance with run and pass, and that's been the philosophy of Mike Schmidt and most teams, the defense is basically in an attack mode. They pin their ears back, they run their stunts. You're in trouble if you don't balance it out with a run. Now that is one of the key things the Eagles want to do here this afternoon.
So as the UW Stout Blue Devils take the field with an American flag at midfield, it is, like you said, it is homecoming. I think it was homecoming the last time we were here too. So they must like to schedule the Eagles for homecoming, although if you lose 6 in a row to them, maybe you might want to find a different opponent for a homecoming matchup.
Yeah, it's hard to find them in the WIAC, though, I can tell you that.
That's true. The WIAC being always year in, year out, a very difficult conference to play in. You have perennial powerhouses of Whitewater and Oshkosh, and then you have your occasional peaks from Stevens Point or from Stout or La Crosse or whomever. And so it's been a difficult conference to play in, year out.
I'm always intrigued by uniforms, and I love the gray Stout uniforms. My favorite color, not my favorite color in my heart, but my favorite color in my eyes is the Stout gray uniforms.
All right.
Keys to the game. Should we do that when we come back?
Keys to the game. We will take a short break while they get set for the national anthem, and we will come back with our Honda Motorworks Keys to the Game. You're watching UW La Crosse football on KQEG TV.
At Ace of La Crosse, they know that playtime around here goes year-round. Make the Sportsland stop before you head out hunting, fishing, or camping for quality products and services at great prices. Talk over your outdoor plans with the experts at Ace of La Crosse, your work and play headquarters. At Ace of La Crosse, they know that playtime around here goes year-round. Make the Sportsland stop before you head out hunting, fishing, or camping for quality products and services at great prices. Talk over your outdoor plans with the experts at Ace of La Crosse, your work and play headquarters. Ace of La Crosse is your work and play headquarters when it comes to getting the job done. No place gives you better support for home, business, and industry with small engine and power tool repairs. Save by renting when you don't need to buy. Ace offers rentals on hundreds of items. Ace of La Crosse is your work and play headquarters when it comes to getting the job done.
At HondaMotorworks.com, you'll find over 100 vehicles that get up to 30 miles per gallon, over 60 vehicles that get up to 40 miles per gallon, and over 25 vehicles that get up to 50 miles per gallon. Test drive them all in downtown La Crosse.
The all-new Ridgeline From dirt roads to downtown, the available truck bed audio will set you apart.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motor Works.
Welcome back, everyone. Just getting set for kickoff. You see the captains coming to midfield as we present to you the Honda Motorworks keys to the game. Remember, Honda has your keys to a new Accord or Civic. Honda Motorworks at 4th and Cass in La Crosse.
Well, for UWL, find big plays on offense. Balance the game, kind of repeating myself from the pregame. Protect Ben Shramsky. Come on, guys. That offensive line needs to step up and give him time to either use his legs, which he's good at, or throw the ball. And if that doesn't happen, we may see some personnel changes with the Eagle front line. One of the staples of the offense for the Stout Blue Devils is throwing to their inside receivers. So make them throw to their outside receivers is one of the keys. And then, of course, we talked about balanced offense. We talked about getting ahead early. We talked about establishing the running game, but establishing control early on so that Stout takes the message that the Eagles are ready to go. For Stout, I think they have lost 12 times, so they can't look use the 12th man, which is the homecoming crowd and part of what we see out in the parking lot. Use that homecoming atmosphere, build on the excitement we saw when we drove up here with the tailgaters, and I think using the 12th man is big. Take away UWL's running game. Don't look in the rearview mirror with all the history of this matchup, and then make sure indeed that you protect the ball, which has been a problem for Stout in their RPO, their run pass option offense.
Well, UW Stout is going to be kicking off, and thanks again to Honda Motorworks for sponsoring the keys to the game for this afternoon. UW Stout kicking off. The Eagles will receive. Doing the kicking for Stout is number 40, a senior from Wausau, Drew Pearson. And deep to receive for UW La Crosse, Dominic Labiarte and Jake Simonkak.
Yeah, Simonkak probably the most electric of those two, but Dominic too. Labarte's coming into his own.
2 yards deep, takes it out, and a little bit of running room and is tackled down at about the 17-yard line where the Eagles will take over 1st and 10 early in our first quarter.
Not so sure that was a good decision, but Simonkak has the ability to break one in the open field, and I've seen him find seams and do so well. Let's see if he can do that sometime here this afternoon. Jeff Linehan, a good friend of mine, the white hat in this crew, assigned by Tom Fiedler, the WIAC head of officials.
Shramsky lines up in the gun. Pistol formation, rather. Hands to his running back. Not a whole lot of running room. Gains a couple.
We talked about the need for that offensive line. Bradley Schultz, Connor Perry, Kyle Abramson, Oliver Vazanoja from Finland and Alex Richardson to do a good job here. In the first 2 games, the Eagles went to a no huddle. Now they're a little bit more they're a little bit more concerned with communication, so you're seeing a huddle here this afternoon.
2 men in the backfield. Shromsky takes the snap, hands off the right side, trying to get a push and going to gain a couple more there.
Good block that time by Abramson along with Zach McManus, the number 84, from Marshfield, the sophomore from Marshfield. We'll get a chance here early in this first quarter. We'll try to introduce both teams for you.
Got the Stout Blue Devil mascot posing with some fans here. 3rd and 5 now. Spread out wide, 4 wide receivers in the formation. Man in motion. Takes the snap, back to pass. Throws across the middle, has it caught, and is roped down at the 41-yard line. That is number 17, Cole Speaker, the junior from Brainerd, Minnesota.
Yeah, one of my favorites. 17 catches, 314 yards, 3 TDs. He did not really catch fire last week against Whitewater. That is another key. He was playing tight end, Carl, and now the rest of the season I'm told he's going to be a wide receiver. Here he is split on our side of the field.
And
here.
you talked about big playability and the keys to the game, and there it was to start off. 1st and 10, 42-yard line. Little swing pass out to the left flat, and it makes a man miss, and he's going to be very close to a first down. That's Labiarte.
Labiarte, exactly, the 5'10 from Brookfield, 14 catches, 4 TDs, leads UWL in TDs. I am impressed with him. Had a shoulder injury, has had a TD pass in 3 of the first 4 games for UWL. He's certainly electric. That time they used Speaker as a blocker in that wide receiver screen.
Just short of the first down, going to bring up 2nd and 1. Wide receiver on either side, double tight end set. Hands off. Mankuski has got enough for a first down.
Mankuski, the 220-pound senior from Lena, Illinois, 163 yards. Offensive coordinators love 2nd down and short. So many OCs, so many offensive coordinators pass on 2nd and short. This time, a little more of a conservative approach by the Eagles.
Traditional power run there. 2 wide receivers again. 7 men in the box for UW Stout. Rolls to his left, finds his receiver, it's caught, and a nice block on the edge by Labiarte, and finds his tight end, Zach McManus, and it's going to be another Eagle first down.
McManus, I remember him playing at Marshfield, and he is a reliable receiver. Notice on this possession, who has really shined, Carl? The offensive line, in my view.
Everybody's been clean.
Have been a part of it. I know the Eagle coaching staff worked hard on technique this week with their offensive line, and so far, very early, it shows.
1st and 10, 17-yard line. 11:39 left in our first quarter. Shromsky hands. Mankuski's got some room, and he's tackled down inside the 10-yard line, down to the 7, and it's going to be another first down, it looks like. Down to the 6-yard line.
Great blocking again at the point of attack, too.
1st and goal, 6-yard line.
Nathan Carpenter, by the way, number 76, the 6'3", 280-pound senior, getting some playing time, had the key block that time.
Pistol formation again. Shromsky takes the snap, rides it to Mankuski, and inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line, still pushing, and he's going to be just short of the goal line.
Little veer action, riding McCuskey inside, and you notice that Shramsky has the opportunity in that particular veer play to run the ball too. If he reads a key to the outside, he'll take it out of his belly and run with it himself because he's got the ability to score. He's done that 6 times this year.
2nd and goal, 1-yard line. Another handoff to Mankuski. Hurdles, no, excuse me. That was a touchdown for Ben Tromsky. Fake me out, Terry.
Well, exactly what I told you on that particular series. Oh, my gosh, you talk about an absolute picturesque textbook kind of series. That's exactly what the Eagles did here. And they sent a message early in this game.
Good balance, run and pass there.
Reliable Ryan Byrne from West Salem.
Covered many a Ryan Byrne football game earlier in his high school career.
You sure did. And
Byrne's kick is up. It's dead center, and it's good.
Hey, guess what? He's now 13 for 14 in extra points as a freshman for the Eagles.
UW La Crosse jumps out to an early 7-0 lead. We're going to take a quick break. We will be back. You are watching UW La Crosse football on KQEG TV and KQEGTV.com.
Join the party at the Arterial Bar and Grill. See the new look and fun atmosphere. This is the place where people come for a delicious meal and to reconnect with friends. Friday night, try their fish. Saturday night, slow roasted prime rib. Wednesdays, get a basket of wings for just $2. Choose from 13 different sauces. Appetizers like nachos or quesadillas, onion rings, or cheese curds. Breakfast on Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 2 p.m. The Arterial, a La Crosse tradition for over 75 years. Why not make it yours?
At HondaMotorworks.com, you'll find over 100 vehicles that get up to 30 miles per gallon, over 60 vehicles that get up to 40 miles per gallon, and over 25 vehicles that get up to 50 miles per gallon. Test drive them all in downtown La Crosse.
The all-new Ridgeline. From dirt roads to downtown, the available truck bed audio will set you apart.
You'll love more miles per dollar. Honda Motorworks.
Welcome back, everyone. Ryan Byrne set to kick it off, and it's a line drive knuckler and not fielded, and all the way back at the 5-yard line, fielded by Levy Hammer, excuse me.
Hamer, I believe it is.
The pronunciation guide has it as Hammer.
Really? I was told different, I guess. Well, I'll go with you, Carl.
I'm going to trust the staff here at UW Stout.
Got great field position for the defense here, and got a little bit of a miscommunication and didn't get on the ball. So Stout starts with their back to the end zone. They run a lot of the same thing as UWL. Now they're in an empty backfield. We'll introduce the Eagles to you in a second.
10-yard line is where Stout starts their first possession, and a quarterback draw. He's going to gain a couple yards. That's Sean Borgerding, freshman from Spring Valley, Wisconsin.
I remember him as a high school player. Borgerding, if I'm looking at the pronunciation. The 38 for 75, 675 yards, 8 TDs, and only 1 interception for that freshman, 6'2 freshman. He's an impressive young man.
3-yard gain there. Brings up 2nd down and 7. Blitz coming up the middle, snap to Borgerding, finds his man. That's Hammer, stiff arms a man, and he's pushed out of bounds, and he's going to get enough for a 1st down, it appears.
Good block on the edge, too, that time, getting him open. But let's give you the Eagles after this play as the Stout Blue Devils go with a no-huddle offense. It doesn't give us a lot of time to do some introductions.
1st and 10, 20-yard line. Just enough for a 1st down for Levy Hammer. Swing pass, finds Hammer again. Nice block on the edge, and he's got enough for another 1st down, or very close to it.
When you look at his statistics from Chicago, Illinois, leads the WIAC with 6 catches per game, 112 yards per game. Leads the Blue Devils, 25 catches, 5 TDs, almost 500 yards. Is he a featured player? Oh my gosh, I guess he is.
1st and 10 again for the Blue Devils. 30-yard line. Hands to his running back. And he's stuffed at the line. Not much room to go. That's Rayshawn Graham from Blue Island, Illinois.
I think the change in football over the years has been a couple things. One, very few teams go to the conventional two-back approach where an under center. Most of them go to this more of a conventional, more of a traditional, more of a open concept where they try to spread you out with their horizontal sets, try to create some vertical seams, and almost every team I see has a version of this particular formation.
Shotgun formation, 3 receivers. Moves his running back Graham to his right-hand side now. Takes the snap. Another quick hitter over to Hammer. And he makes a man miss, and he's tripped up just shy of the 40-yard line.
Yeah. And
they're saying Hamer over the PA.
That's kind of what I thought, my friend.
I'm not happy with this pronunciation guide then.
Yeah. And so I didn't want to correct you, but that's what I was told.
We'll go with Hamer.
Yeah, there you go.
Levy Hamer. Like you mentioned, a freshman from Chicago, Illinois. Third down and 1 from the 39-yard line. Hands off to the left side. Second effort makes a couple of men miss, and it's still going. The pile keeps moving, and we're all the way to midfield. An incredible effort from Rayshawn Graham.
It was, but it was Rayshawn Graham along with Keyshawn Carpenter, 2 key running backs, north-south, east-west. They can do it all, and they will give the Eagles some problems. Talking to Mike Schmidt this week, he said they are 2 bona fide stars, Keyshawn Graham and Keyshawn Carpenter and Rashawn Graham.
That's a true thunder and lightning duo there.
It is, indeed. Good analogy, too.
Graham, the tailback here. And we got a whistle.
Got somebody move.
I think we've got our first penalty of the game.
We got a timeout as
well.
Oh,
excuse me. It is a timeout. You're right.
A little confusion with the offensive coordinator and his Blue Devil unit. We have a chance to introduce the offensive line for Stout. And they are Dustin Rondorf, for the 6'3 senior, Thomas Roble, who had a great block last time, 6'6 from Carver, Minnesota. You think he's a prototype NFL player at
left tackle, 6'6", 310?
Yeah. Justin Herb, 6'2 from Park Falls, Wisconsin. Bailey Rue from Rice Lake, right up the north here. Alex Nagaski, a 6-foot sophomore from Evergreen Park, Illinois. And the right tackle, Caleb Adams, who's a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, which I'm familiar with. I didn't win it, but it's for scholar athletes that have excelled in the classroom, and he's one of the finalists, and that'll be determined later on. By the way, I remember him from the 6'4", 300-pounder from Rochester, Minnesota. Not only is he an NFL-sized player, but he's a scholar athlete, which makes him pretty special.
It's a great combination. 1st and 10, 49-yard line, still in their own territory. Blitz comes off the left edge, and he's met in the backfield, gains maybe a yard there.
Boy, 3 Eagles right there too, Carl. First one, Jacob Gerzik, one of my favorites from Black River Falls, a senior who excels at his position along with his friend, Zach Zilmer, who also plays on the starting unit for the Eagles. You know those 2 guys from Black River, right?
I don't, personally.
You don't? Well, I get to meet all of them on the Mike Schmidt Football Show.
Oh, that's true. You have that insider knowledge. 2nd and 9 from midfield. Back to pass. We got a penalty flag flies. Pass over the middle. It's caught. And not a lot of room to take him down, but he does make the tackle. Good job to run him down there. That was complete to Noel Gonzalez. But we got an illegal shift, it looks like.
That's what it was. Jeff Lenahan says you guys moved a little early, and boy, that negates a great play. Alexander Villarreal, who was on our show last week from LaGrange, Illinois, 22 tackles, but he was beaten on that particular play. The defensive backs in the backside, Max Brower, with one interception. Villarreal, Peter Kissling, of course, that's a difficult thing, losing him. At the game last week, he had an elbow injury early in the game. Noah Schober starting for him from Eau Claire Regis. Colton Neiman from Lincoln High School, the other defensive back.
2nd and 14 after the penalty. Going to the well again on the border and incomplete.
Boy, Colton Neiman says, you're not going to do that on me. Man-to-man coverage on the outside, too, and he was right with him.
Trying to find Parker Fossum, the 6'3 freshman receiver out of Chetfield, Minnesota.
Yeah, 6 catches, 1 TD for that freshman. By the way, Joey Bolda, you'll see a lot of Elijah McGeehan, who moved to middle linebacker this week, Carl. Gerzik, we talked about him. Rusty Murphy, who had 10 tackles last week, and the defensive line, Zilmer, Gierlich, Abitz, and Ryan Flathers from Lewiston.
3rd and 14. Blitz comes, and he's met in the backfield, and it's going to be a group sack for UW La Crosse, and the Eagles are fired up after that one.
They are. Party at the football is what a lot of coaches call it. And, of course, the first guy there, Jake Gerzik.
5.5 minutes to go. 4th and looks like 19. And so UW Stout will punt. The punter is number 16, Sean McGee, a 6'4", 230-pound senior from Rice Lake. And he gets off a high spiral to the far sideline, and it kicks out of bounds right around the 25-yard line.
More and more teams, Carl, are going to a single returner, punt returner, and that means a couple of things. One, the coaches have a great deal of confidence in that return man, and number two, he's got to be able to elude tacklers. He's got nobody back there to protect, like a lot of teams that go with the dual return.
A personal protector of sorts.
Yeah, and a personal protector obviously also is able to help out with fair catches. But when you're by yourself, you have to have great panoramic vision, insight, and you got to be able to handle the ball.
They mark him out right at the 24.5-yard line, it looks like. Shromsky takes the snap, hands off the right side, and a good second effort there. Gets a gain of about 4 as they blow the whistle.
Both possessions, the Eagles have started with a run, and we talked about it a couple times in the pregame, trying to get something going to give Lewandowski, who was, by the way, is going to play a little bit today, or Shramsky, who's currently in there, an opportunity to throw the ball. First possession, first time the Eagles had the ball, classic, because they were able to mix up the run and the pass.
A very good balance on that first possession. Brings up 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard run from Austin Mankuski. Shramsky hands, and off the left guard, going to get very close to a first down.
Alex Richardson from Boulder Creek, Arizona, the 270-pound sophomore, the left tackle, had a great block, turned the shoulders of the defensive end, and was able to create a great hole.
They are going to give him the first down there. 4 minutes to go in our first quarter. 1st and 10, 35-yard line.
Introduce the Stout defense after this play.
Shramsky takes the snap, rolls off to his left, trying to find a man. It's tipped at the line. It is caught by the tight end. And that is number 34, Trenton Smith.
Yeah, Trenton,
the fullback.
Right, Trenton Smith. He's a big kid, too, at 210 pounds from Roberts High School, St. Croix Central. Did a nice job. I think he was a check-down receiver that time, it appeared, but good roll again, opening up the vision of the quarterback on that sprint out.
2nd and 4. Shramsky hands to Mankuski, and he's met immediately. Not a whole lot of running room on that one. Good job by Stout to blow that one up.
Yeah, right behind the big bodies, Connor Perry and Kyle Abramson. You know, last night's game, I think you heard me talk to Calvin Maven on the way here. He has evolved into such a good quarterback. Wasn't in the depth chart early on, and he does what we're seeing with Shramsky. He rolls a lot to get away from the pressure, opens up his field of vision, and last night in Logan's win over Aquinas. He was my player of the game simply because of his leadership ability.
Yeah, we've talked about him quite a bit, especially when he got hit so many times getting back up from it. Shromsky back to pass, and he's chased. He's able to slip the tackle, and it's going to be enough for first down. A good effort by Shromsky. He was very close to being sacked.
Shramsky showed his breakaway speed. Hayden Miller, 2 interceptions, a sophomore from Zimmerman, Minnesota, was right behind him. And he outran one of the fastest guys on the Stout defense. That tells you something. Maybe he was just scared. Didn't want to get hit, didn't want to get hurt.
Right at midfield. Back to pass, surveys, and breaks the pocket, fires downfield. It's caught, and Dominic Labelarti is knocked out of bounds about 5 yards on that one, right at the 45-yard line.
A lot of quarterbacks have the ability to be mobile and extend the play. Not all of them are able to keep their eyes downfield and their shoulders square when they do indeed scramble. That's one of Shramsky's strengths.
Now under 2 minutes. We're down to 1:40 left in the first quarter. 7-0 our score. UW La Crosse scored on a 1-yard run by quarterback Ben Shramsky. Back to pass. Nice blitz pickup. He's hit as he throws, and it's way overthrown. He was looking in the area of trying to find Paul Escalante.
Yeah, boy, pressure on that inside linebacker stunt. Brandon Vecchio from Tomahawk. A lot of pressure on him. Levi Wolf, one of the standout defenders from Elmwood, right up the road here. The 6'3 senior, along with Jake Schregel, I should say, two of the timeout Eagles.
Eagles take a timeout. Going to bring up 3rd and 5 here.
We'll go back to the free safety, Schlegel from Augusta. I can remember him, or check that, from Baldwin, Spring Valley. He was the WIAC Defensive Player of the Week last week and had a big interception to seal the win over Eau Claire in a big game last Saturday evening.
Another one of the inside linebackers in that 3-4 look is Luke Wills from just up the road from my hometown of Waupaca. He's from Manawa, Wisconsin. It's a very small town, about 1,500 people.
Yeah, I've driven by there a few times. Doesn't take you long to drive through that
No,
town,
it doesn't.
Yeah, we should quickly introduce the defense if we can, too, Carl. Dylan Peterson and Daniel Afolabi.
You got it.
From Champlin, Minnesota, along with Aaron Weiskup, the defensive line. Talked about Hayden Miller, Luke Wills. Brandon Vecchio, and Logan Peterson, along with Shane Finelli, Levi Wolf, and Kiri Rhodes.
3rd and 5. Fakes the handoff. Inside screen, and it's caught, but it's going to be short of a first down. That's Nathan Clark. That's Joey Stutzman.
Joey Stutzman, but number 90 blew it up. Zach Donahue, the 6'2 backup defensive tackle from DeKalb, Illinois, only the freshman. Great job of blowing up that screen in 4th down, and the Eagles are going for it.
4th and 1. Offense remains out there. Stout sidelines, getting the crowd into it.
This is always an interesting call out of the pistol. Where do you run the ball? And you do.
Mankuski's got enough for a first down. He's upended across the 40-yard line, where he's going to have a first down.
Right behind Oliver Vazanoya from Finland and Bradley Schultz, the center. Did you notice that when he left his three-point stance, he just ran with determination? His first step was electric. His first step was powerful, and you knew he had his shoulders down. Low man wins, got the first down. We didn't see that the last couple of weeks. We didn't see that kind of commitment to the running game.
1st and 10, 38-yard line of the Blue Devils. Back to pass Shromsky. Deep ball over the middle, and it's broken up. A nice play there by Judge Schlegel. He was looking to find Devontae Amos, and a good adjustment by the defensive back to break that play up.
Boy, you said it. You talk about closing speed with Judge Schlegel. Oh, my gosh, did he do a nice job of – he was beaten, by the way.
Amos had a good couple of steps on him.
Maybe that's why he was WIAC Defensive Player of the Week last week. Nice job by Schlegel from Baldwin, Wisconsin.
2nd and 10. Shromsky, hands, and it's met right at the line of scrimmage. Mankuski nowhere to go, and we got a couple of bodies hitting the ground after that one.
Luke, you talked about Luke Wiltz from near your hometown. He was one of the principal defenders on that play as we end the first quarter.
All right.
And with a score, UW La Crosse 7, UW Stout nothing. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back. You're watching UW La Crosse Eagles football on KQEG TV.
At Ace of La Crosse, they know that playtime around here goes year-round. Make the Sportsland stop before you head out hunting, fishing, or camping for quality products and services at great prices. Talk over your outdoor plans with the experts at Ace of La Crosse, your work and play headquarters. Ace of La Crosse is your work and play headquarters when it comes to getting the job done. No place gives you better support for home, business, and industry with small engine and power tool repairs. Save by renting when you don't need to buy. Ace offers rentals on hundreds of items. Ace of La Crosse.
When you buy a used car, you want to make certain you're not buying someone else's troubles.
Hi, this is Travis with Tri-State Auto Center in La Crosse.
We do our best to provide all the information you need, including what the vehicle is worth, so you can make an informed decision on the purchase of your next quality pre-owned vehicle.
We inspect, certify, and warranty our cars.
Come see our affordable selection. If you're looking for something special, let me find it for you. Tri-State Auto Center, Highways 1461 on the Pike in La Crescent.
A step above the rest.
When you buy...
Welcome back, everybody. Carl Greenfield and Terry Erickson. We got Luke on our camera today. 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Eagles.
3-by-2 set, empty backfield. Passing situation for Shramsky.
Fake the jet sweep. Deep ball over the middle and overthrown. He was trying to find Cole Speaker and incomplete. Going to bring up 4th and 10.
Had 4 receivers out there, and we have a penalty on the play too. And it looks like it's in the area of a hold, and it is.
So it's going to be 4th and 10. I would guess they may decline this one, they will.
What's so good about, in my view, on Cole Speaker, the 6'2 junior from Brainerd, is he can create mismatches, his versatility, his speed. One of the better route runners I've seen wearing an Eagle uniform, and remember, he's only a junior, and he's my favorite barista at Mocha too, by the way.
Which one? The one on West Avenue?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Friend of mine, Joan Miller owns that.
On to attempt the field goal is Ryan Byrne.
Joan Wilson, I should say. Sorry.
Evan Lewandowski, the holder. 50 yards. Kick is blocked. It's blocked, and it's picked up by Stout, and they're going to take over. A low trajectory kick, unable to get it over the line.
Yeah, you stole my thunder. That's exactly what it was, and I think it was blocked by number 49 for the Blue Devils, and it was low. Number 49, Aaron Wisecup from Monticello. I think one of several guys that had their hands up.
So the Blue Devils will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
You'll see a lot of different formations here. You got an unusual one for the Blue Devils.
Deep ball, trying to find Hamer, and he's got it. Hamer's got a catch and a big gain for the Blue Devils all the way inside the 40-yard line to the 38.
One-on-one coverage on the outside. Peter Kissling? No, who's the defender? Kissling out, of course. And 13 might have been Colton Neiman, huh?
Could be.
Lost that on my 1949 binoculars.
1st and 10, back to pass again. Borgerding trying to find Hamer again, and it is picked off.
All right.
Interception there by Max Brower.
Press defense, Carl. And that's not easy to do. One-on-one speed on the outside, the ball just slightly underthrown, really right to number 13, Colton Neiman. The Stout offensive player had to play defense.
And he wasn't able to get back to the football.
He wasn't.
Almost a little bit of a basketball box out on that one by Brower.
Of course, you know about basketball box outs playing in the front line in high school.
I've boxed a few people out, although I was a little bit thinner than I am now, and so it wasn't as easy as it is now, I would gather.
All right, Ben Shramsky, let's go on the Eagles' 7-yard line.
1st and 10 after the interception. Fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, finds a man, and it's caught, and it's going to be another 1st down.
I like the play action. I like the spin. I like Trenton Smith, who's part of this offense now, who was not up until tonight, the only 5'9", but he has been a part of 2 special plays so far here in the first half.
Smith gives him a 1st down at the 20-yard line. 1 receiver to each side. Back to pass. Deep down the left sideline and just overthrown. He was looking for Speaker, streaking down the sideline, and it was just 1 step too far.
Speaker has been his primary target, hasn't he? Earlier in this first half. Speaker had his man beat by 1 step, and the pass was 1 yard too deep. Otherwise, Speaker could have had 6.
That's right. 2nd and 10 now. Early going 2nd quarter. Shramsky hands to Mankuski, and he's met after a couple-yard gain.
I think it took him too long to get to the line of scrimmage that time. Defensive tackle Aaron Weiskup, number 49, just plugged that hole immediately. Well, now 3rd and 8, certainly a passing down. This is when you anticipate creative stunt packages, some twisting, some slanting. Now your offensive line really needs to shine.
3rd and 8. 2 receivers to his right. And back to pass. And he scrambles. He's still going, and he's just going to bench it, and nowhere to go with the football. A wise decision to just get rid of it.
Sure was. Flushed out of the pocket. Pressure early. They did stunt. Forces a 4th down. Nobody open. Wisely. This is what I like about his evolution and how he's playing. He's got a lot of poise. He's coached well enough to know not to gamble when somebody is not open.
4th and 8 now, going to punt it away. The punter, Sean Parker. 6'2" out of Portland, Oregon.
What a plus to get him, I'll tell you.
Left-footed punter takes a hop, and it is fielded deep. It's loose.
Oh, wow.
And a Eagle football.
Not a good decision, too. Should have let the ball go, and his coaches will point that out on tape. And Sean Parker, I had a chance to talk with him yesterday, by the way. He said, Terry, I hope I don't even play at all in this game. What do you mean? Well, I don't want to punt. Joey Bolda, by the way, recovered that punt. His uncle, Tom Kammer, a good friend of mine who's the head girls track coach and boys soccer coach at Logan. You probably didn't know that, huh?
I did not.
I got all that insight, knowing all these players like I do. Just got to remember the details.
I told you, you've got the inside edge with the Mike Schmidt Coaches Show.
By the way, it's on Tuesday of this next week instead of Monday. We'll talk about that.
Hands off to the left side.
Good run that time by number 24, Jalen Clark, who has not been figured a big part of this offense lately. He's just fell a little bit in his yards, 161 yards going into this game from Stoughton, Wisconsin.
2nd and 6 after that run by Clark. Back to pass, Shramsky. Surveys and flushed out of the pocket. Still looking downfield. It's, almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of Chase Finelli out of Kenosha.
Shramsky's pass nearly intercepted by Chase Finelli.
You know, that was the first bad decision I think he has made. That time intended for, I believe, Zach McManus, right, from Marshfield. Didn't you think that he had a lane to run?
I think he did, although I don't know if it was necessarily so much a bad decision as it was a bad throw. It was very far underthrown. If he got a little more air under that might have been 6.
He didn't have his feet set.
3rd and 6 after the incompletion. Looking left and a little bit overthrown, a little too high.
Yeah.
And that was looking in the direction of Joey Stutzman.
Yeah.
Only 5'5", so you got to throw it a little lower for a target of his size.
Well, he had the first down marker, and we have a field goal. He was right at the marker, but a little overthrown by Shramsky.
Ryan Byrne comes on to attempt the field goal.
Out of the hold of Evan Lewandowski. Lewandowski from Lake Zurich, Illinois. Transfer.
48-yard attempt here. Left hash. Kick is up. It's long enough, and it is wide left.
Yeah, it was long enough, and just about a yard too long, too far to the left. Good snap, good hold, just not accurate kicking.
Well, while they switch sides, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back. You're watching UW Lacrosse football on KQEG TV.
Got into the secondary that time, Carl, too. Got good blocking up front. Tackled by A.J. Villarreal, the senior who was on the Mike Schmidt show last week. Got to know him real well. Likes to ice fish. So he says, I don't mind living in the Midwest because I have an ice fishing shanty and I just get lost in my ice shanty.
9-yard gain for Rayshawn Graham brings up 2nd and 1. And a fake, and the keeper... And Gorberding has a big gain off the left side. A lot of running room, and we got a late penalty flag. Some tempers flaring a little bit, some pushing and shoving. Guys need to be separated.
Yeah.
And we're going to get unsportsmanlike conduct, it looks like.
I'm not in favor of that call. Here's why I'm not in favor of that call. It was not malicious back and forth. Yeah, there was a little shoving. Why can't you just walk in and say, fellas, you know better than that. Fellas, knock it off. The next time
Nip
you do
it in the bud right away,
the next time
then get it the
next time you do it, I'm going to throw this yellow flag up in the air. But, guys, don't spoil the game here by doing something after the whistle. Why can't you do that? That's the way good officials work a game, Carl.
Well, we got a little shout-out from Rick Wilson saying that the broadcast looks good, watching on his birthday. And that penalty goes against Jacob Gerzik.
Not deserving at all, in my view. Now, am I in charge of the officials? Of course not.
I don't think you are.
Of course not. But Tom Fiedler is, and he's a friend of mine. And when I talk to him, I'm going to say, that was an unnecessary call. Come on, guys. Diffuse it rather than throw it right away.
Best field position of the day after that gain, and then the penalty brings it to the 35-yard line of the Eagles. Hands, left side, room to run. Graham, a first down and more inside the 20-yard line. Marked down at about the 15.
Rashawn Graham on his way for his possibly 4th touchdown. Did a nice job running on the again in his left side, Roble, and the left tackle doing a nice job, and Justin Herbst.
I got my yard line scrambled up. It's only at the 21-yard line, but still a first down nonetheless. Hands off to Graham again. Stumbles, and if he keeps his feet, he's got a lot of grass in front of him, or I guess I should say turf, because this is an artificial surface.
Yeah, great block that time by number 75, Caleb Adams. We talked about him as a finalist for the Campbell Trophy. He just opened up a massive hole. Of course, he's massive himself at 6'4", 305 pounds. I think I'd run behind him too.
I think either one of us could get some running room if he's blocking for us. 2nd and 5. Borgerding, hands off to Graham. Graham's got a touchdown. Touchdown UW Stout. Rashawn Graham gets the Blue Devils on the board.
And he didn't even get touched behind Adams again, and the right guard Alex Nagaski from Evergreen Park, Illinois. And it was an impressive possession, and really the catalyst for the possession was the penalty, the unsportsmanlike late hit by the Eagles.
Borgerding the holder, Drew Pearson the place kicker, and the extra point is blocked, and it goes and rolls out of the back of the end zone. So UW La Crosse will retain the lead here after the blocked extra point.
Not sure who got that, but I know number 92 for the Eagles was in the vicinity, and that's Anthony Schumann, 6', 230-pounder from Beaver Dam.
So best drive of the day for UW Stout, aided by the penalty, like you said. And so brings our score to 7-6. Eagles still retaining a 1-point lead. 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
Impressive drive. That time, no question about it. They looked good. They did stout, kind of in rhythm. They mixed up their plays real well. But basically, that touchdown was a result of a good running attack.
Pearson going to do the kicking.
Offensive coordinator, too, for Stout is a guy I remember playing at University of Minnesota Duluth, Chase Vogler. Been here several years and puts together a great game plan, too. He was a great quarterback at Duluth.
High end over end kick, fielded at about the 9-yard line by Simonchek. Makes a man miss, and he's tackled down at about the 25-yard line.
Pretty good return, too, for Simonchek. Didn't get into the lane, but that time Gabe Hall makes the tackle, number 51. Gabe Hall, a linebacker from Cannon Falls. Eagles need to answer here as we approach 9 minutes in the first half. From Don and Nona Williams Stadium, beautiful stadium.
Beautiful facility here. A low snap, and it's new quarterback Evan Lewandowski.
Not sure of the
into the lineup now.
Yeah, and a low snap, and it kind of disrupted the rhythm intended for Speaker on the outside, but he was well covered. You know, in my meeting with Mike Schmidt this week, he said you're going to see Evan Lewandowski a little bit. I'm not sure the reason to insert him now, the 6'3" freshman from Lake Zurich, Illinois, but you're right. He is in charge.
He's taken this drive, 2nd and 10. Back to pass. Lewandowski surveys, and he's still in the backfield and going to be pushed out of bounds and ripped down. Going to lose a couple of yards there. Had no one to throw it to, or at least in his perception, he didn't. coverage sack there.
It was a coverage sack, well defended by the back line of the Stout Blue Devils.
3rd and 12.
Levi Wolf part of that, by the way, and Schlegel another part. Rhodes and Chase Finelli, those 4 defensive backs in that double safety formation. 3-by-1 for the Eagles.
Single setback behind Lewandowski. Back to pass. He's hit and knocked down. The ball is still loose. It's rolling, and the Blue Devils have it.
This is only conjecture, but it just appeared that he held onto the ball too long.
Didn't feel the pressure, and the pressure got there, and he was holding it a little bit loosely, and it got knocked out.
The coverage broke down. The line play broke down, and what an incredible opportunity for Stout here in the second quarter.
The momentum has been shifting towards the Blue Devils, and now 1st and goal after the turnover. This is a big possession here for the Eagle defense to see if they can even hold them to a field goal here.
Let's see if Stout decides to throw the ball, which so many teams do after a turnover.
Off coverage in the slot. The handoff goes to Graham. Still pushing, and he's finally taken down at about the 4-yard line, but a good run by Rayshawn Graham.
Rayshawn Graham, a physical player, as we talked about, 220 pounds, and just a hard guy to bring down. Good north-south, physical downhill runner. That's maybe one little component missing from the Eagles' offense is somebody that's a bulldozer, that's really a physical north-south runner.
Mankuski can do that in short spurts, but not quite the size of Rayshawn Graham.
Graham only 5'9", but makes up for that with his weight.
And looking to throw, and he couldn't find anybody. Borgerding is sacked.
Yeah, well defended that time. Zilmer from the number 44, along with Mankowski. Zilmer from Black River Falls, saw him the other day, and I said, how much weight did you gain since high school? He said about 60, 70 pounds, and I can see it too. And he's got long hair hanging out of his helmet. I said, that long hair, I bet you there's a lot of girls that like that. He said, yeah, there's quite a few numbers in my phone. I said, I can imagine why.
They're going to take a timeout, and we're going to keep the broadcast going here. 7:32 left to go. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line after that sack there. You mentioned Zilmer from Black River Falls. Most people, when you ask them how much weight did you put on since high school, and they say 60 to 70 pounds, they're not really proud of it if it's that much. But from a football standpoint, that's a good thing.
Somebody are you referring to the freshman 15 or the freshman 50? But that's not at all what we're talking.
I put on about a freshman 40. So
we're talking about a guy that dedicates himself to the weight room, and his muscle growth, and it comes from the result of hard work, not spending too much time on 3rd Street.
And eating Doritos and Topper's Pizza or something.
I don't think athletes eat the way you and I did when we were young. Athletes don't. Maybe regular students do, but athletes take a little bit better care of themselves.
The Tom Brady diet, so to speak.
Oh, my God. Have you ever read about that?
It's unbelievable. The man's never eaten a strawberry. 3rd and goal, 9-yard line. Looking to pass, and it's a little bit overthrown, a little cross up there. Trying to find his wide receiver, number 27, Parker Fossum.
Defended by the out-of-bounds white line that time was the reason that it was not
Sometimes
successful.
That's your best defender. You use that as an extra defender, the border of the field.
Max Brower on the defense. Drew Pearson 3 for 8 in field goals coming into this game.
26-yard attempt here. Good snap, good hold, good kick. It is long enough and it's good.
Yeah, would have been, if it wouldn't have been for the net, it would have been into the tailgate section for this homecoming game.
It might have hit my car. I'm part not that if he had shanked it, it could have hit it.
It's not a new car. Don't worry about it.
No, that's right. It's still one of the only two that I've got.
And it's got to get us back to lacrosse,
right.
so I shouldn't be criticizing
those are our wheels.
about your 1950 car.
It's a 2003. Thank you, Terry.
It's
only got 121,000 miles on it.
Jeez, I've driven cars for even more miles than that because I take care of them.
That's right.
I change the oil. I get good tires on them. They're safe on the road. And, how many miles you got in this car, Terry? A couple 100,000. Really? Why don't you trade it? What for?
It still works.
As well.
Yeah. No reason to. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
But I clean my cars, too. They're always spotless. Unless my grandchildren are in it. Then it changes.
See, and I've got a 3-year-old, and there's only so much you can do sometimes. You rode in the back seat, though. It was pretty clean back there. My wife vacuumed it this morning before we took off.
After I cleaned it from when we left the office, yeah. We're just having fun here in the first half.
All right, 9-7, a high end-over-end kick fielded at the 14-yard line. Simonchak stutter steps and way across to the 37-yard line. Good return there by Jake Simonchak.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to I'm waiting for him to get one and break it open now. How long am I ever going to wait for this?
I don't know.
No, Jake Simonchak, he's been on the Mike Schmidt show too, and he's a quality young man. I mentioned to Mike Schmidt the other day, where do you find these quality kids? I mean, just great academics, personality. Wow. It's fun to be part of the Mike Schmidt show.
1st and 10, 37-yard line. Good field position. Lacrosse trails by 2. Handoff goes to Clark.
Trying to get some yardage up into the heart of that defense. And the guy that's impressed me so far is Aaron Weiskup. I know we talked about Finelli's, and we talked about Wolf and Schlegel, but Weiskup has played awful well. Weiskup again from Monticello, 250-pound junior. Lots of underclassmen on this defensive unit.
2nd and 8. Shramsky back in now. Back to pass, and he fires it into the Stout bench.
Jeez, all of a sudden here in the second quarter, the rhythm, the timing, the tempo, the protection has just went south.
That's going to bring up 3rd and 8.
That time, Carl, Dylan Peterson, we haven't even talked about him, number 91, the 6'4 junior from Stratford. Right in Shramsky's grill.
Terry, you said that the offense has gone south. That's the direction they are going. They are headed south.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe that's the problem. 3rd and 8. Back to pass. Shramsky finds his receiver, Simonchak, and he's going to be short of the first down. Good open field tackle there. Brought down by Logan Peterson.
But he got good protection. They're going to have to punt. Simonchak desperately tried to get to the ran the back out of the backfield, tried to get to the first down marker, and 3 yards short.
6 minutes and 9 seconds left in our first half.
Excuse me, Carl. Heaven Hunt, the returner, number 11 from Somerset.
Not to be confused with Helen Hunt, the actress.
That is just, I just can't. I looked at that and I can't get over how special a name like that is.
That's right.
Heaven Hunt. I'd like to meet that kid and find out how he got that first name.
Maybe meet mom and dad.
Oh my gosh, that's a great name. How you doing, Heaven? It's like, oh, pretty good. Isn't that great? Heaven Hunt. I wonder what his middle name is.
I don't know. Maybe it's another H.
Not the one you're thinking of, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Heaven help you, Hunt?
Oh, we're only kidding if you are watching.
Heaven help me, Hunt.
1st and 10, 21-yard line. A quarterback keep and an interesting play there.
Wow.
I think there was some miscommunication. The receiver was blocking that he was throwing to.
Geez, throw that in the receptacle. Don't run that play again. Well, run it again if you're an Eagle. But no, that didn't look good at all, and it's just somebody didn't go the right way.
It's going to be a study in assignments on film day this coming week.
Yeah, that's for sure. Intended for number 32, who it doesn't appear on my
I thought it was
cheat
27.
sheet. Maybe it was.
I think it was Parker Fossum.
All right. Well, he is a starting receiver.
And hands off to Graham. Not much running room there.
Nice job in that front line for the Eagles. Wow, that's what I'd like to see. That time tackle by number 40. That would be Elijah McGee, and the key to that defense. When I say good job for our Eagles, do you think that means that I like the Eagles? Do you think that means I'm completely impartial? No.
Well, we're in a position to be maybe a little bit biased.
Oh, yeah, but we appreciate athletes from other teams, too. So
that's right. And, next week, I'm sorry I can't root for the Eagles. They're playing my Pointers.
Yeah, that's too bad. You'll be the only lacrosse person rooting for them.
And a sack for the Eagles.
Hey, a little better defense, guys.
We talked about the phrase coverage sack there, and that's what it looked like there. He had no one to look to. Borgerding ran out of time and got taken down.
Yeah, by who? Ryan Flathers, the 6'2 junior from Lewiston. Of course, Lewiston is an easy drive from lacrosse.
Oh, yeah, just a hop, skip, and a jump.
A good friend of mine owns the Lewiston Monument Company.
They've sponsored some of our games in the past.
And they sponsor Seven Rivers Sports.
And the punt is wide over to the sideline, and it gets downed at about the 40-yard line. So excellent starting field position after that punt off the side of the foot of Sean McGee.
Sean McGee averaging 35 yards a punt from Rice Lake. Didn't get one of his better punts, and now the Eagles. Look at this. 4:20 to go in the first half, and they are in good field position.
2 timeouts remaining for lacrosse, 1 remaining for Stout. And, of course, we are not in the city of Stout. We are in the city of Menominee. UW Stout.
Fieldhouse.
Beautiful campus
off
here.
To our left, to the north.
Handoff. Nowhere to go.
Oh, I don't like 3 gray jerseys. That's not fair, man. Kuski 1, Stout 3. Tough to do that.
That's a numbers game that you never win in football.
You sure don't.
Unless maybe you're somebody like Earl Campbell or Jerome Bettis, one of those big running backs.
Run right through them, in other words.
That's right. 2nd and 10. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Shromsky back to pass. Throws it wide to the sideline.
So that sets up a 3rd down, and this is a problem when the Stout Blue Devils pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. This is always difficult.
Exactly 4 minutes read on the clock.
Need a big play out of Shramsky. Need a big play out of the offensive line. 2-by-1 set.
40-yard line, possibly in 4-down territory here. And a little screen play. Mankuski catches it, and he's going to get enough for the 1st down. A good effort by Austin Mankuski.
Do you notice, Carl, the Blue Devils sent the house? Like 3 guys stunted up the middle, but the Eagles let them go, obviously, because a screen was set up.
And we have an injured Blue Devil. That's Kier Rhodes, the 5'9 junior from St. Paul, Minnesota. Very little movement from him. Good to see him at least moving a little bit on the ground, but in very significant pain.
When someone's injured now at essentially any level, the trainers and the sideline physicians out there within like 3 seconds
it's really
of a guy going down. It's like almost a NASCAR race to get there. I mean, it's just impressive.
Phenomenal.
It's impressive. But, in case you kind of missed what's going on with the Eagles, they lost their offensive coordinator, so they are going with kind of co-offensive coordinators. Isaac Frichte, we talked about him. as one of them, and the other is the offensive line coach, Andrew McGlennon.
And handoff goes to Mankuski off the right side, gains a couple of yards. Yeah, we were talking about, I was looking at the coaching staff. We were talking about it on our way up here. I said, Terry, why does the name Isaac Frichte ring a bell? I can't place it. He said, Caledonia.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, briefly with the Minnesota Vikings organization.
Detroit Lions looking at him. Nathan Carpenter, by the way. I knew there'd be some different offensive lines. 6'3", 280 senior from Palmyra Eagle, now playing the right tackle.
Low snap. Schramsky fakes the swing pass, and it is.
It's caught.
It's caught.
It's caught.
And we still haven't. We got a signal. It's a touchdown.
Carl, he looked at his check down receiver who was wide open, but decided to gamble and go into the end zone. What a great pass and even a better catch.
Unbelievable effort in the end zone. Was that Cole Spreaker?
No, I think it was, was it? You know what?
I was so focused on the play.
I was focused on Schramsky, and I'm sorry. We have to get that corrected here for our viewers.
The
extra point from Ryan Byrne is good.
Ryan Byrne's point after kick is good. 3:01 remaining. Second quarter. Lacrosse 14, Stout 9.
All right, so we'll get you who that was, possibly in our second half once we get our stats updated to us.
We hope to get stats given to us by the. We do have them
I got
the first
I
quarter.
got the first quarter.
Why were you the only one getting them?
I don't know. They must not like you, Terry. So I don't think we're going to find out who caught it in this time frame here, but nonetheless, UW La Crosse Eagles up to a 14-9 score here. 3:01 left.
How come nobody sitting around us remembers the number who got that?
I think they were so stunned that he came down with it. They didn't even notice who it was.
I'm embarrassed about not being able to share that. I was watching Schramsky hoping he wasn't going to get tackled prior to releasing the ball.
Ryan Byrne set to kick off from the left hash. A spiraling kick down to the sideline, and it goes out of bounds. Not a good kick there from Ryan Byrne, going to create a penalty.
It is, and not giving my favorite name on the Stout roster, Heaven Hunt, a chance to return it. Heaven Hunt. Oh, boy, I'm going to be thinking about that tomorrow in church. Would you ever name your kid Heaven?
No. My daughter's name is Gloria.
Gloria.
There's
who sang that favorite song, Gloria?
Oh, I don't even know.
Who was that?
But
that's one of the better classic songs.
Well, it is. I can't come up with the artist here, but we it's a family name.
But you don't know who got the touchdown.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know anything
Gloria
at this point, Terry.
Jeez. Oh gosh, that was a classic.
First and 10, 35-yard line, good field position. 1 timeout remaining for UW Stout. 3:01 left. Back to pass. Borgerding finds his man, and he stiff arms a man, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That's Levy Hamer.
Levy Hamer and Max Brower on the defense. I did get that right, number 31, but I'm never going to get over that. I'm not going to let that happen again, by the way.
We'll figure it out, Terry. Don't lose sleep over it.
I very well might.
9-yard gain brings up 2nd and 1. Extra man brought in to protect. Handoff goes to Graham, but it's met right away. UW La Crosse defensive line.
Yeah, you talk about holding your ground. Anthony Schumann, the 230-pounder from Beaver Dam. One of the key techniques and coaching points about playing defensive line is not give ground. Get under the pads of the offense.
And he took ground on that one.
He took
got
ground.
Loss.
Yeah. He went the other way. That was awesome defense. Big third down here for the Blue Devils.
2 minutes left. 3rd and 2. Handoff goes to Graham, and there's Schumann again.
Oh, wow.
Stuffs Graham, and not going to get the first down here.
The thing you do when you go fishing, you find a fishing spot, you put what's called an anchor down, and that holds the boat in place. Well, that's what defensive linemen need to do.
That's
they
right.
Anchor themselves right there. Schumann did that 2 plays in a row.
Those will be a couple of highlights for Seven Rivers Sports.
And it will be,
plays there.
And it will be on the Mike Schmidt Show, which for our viewers is each week at the Cleary and Alumni Friends Center, and it's typically on a Monday.
So you're having it on Tuesday this week?
This week it's Tuesday. Tuesday at noon, lunch served. Coach Mike Schmidt is the star of the show. I'm just there for window dressing. He's the star of the show, and we always have 2 student athletes as guests.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Stout game, and then we'll preview the Point game. Unfortunately, you'll be upset next Saturday night.
I'm not sure I will.
Because you won't like it, because the Eagles will, I think, come away with a win. And by the way, it's a 6 o'clock kickoff.
I know.
Next Saturday night.
Under the lights at Roger Herring Stadium.
So you'll be the only one sitting in a section. I hope you're comfortable being by
wearing
yourself.
My purple and gold.
Yeah, I hope you're comfortable being by yourself.
My wife will be with me. She's a pointer too. A knuckleball punt fielded by Simonchak, and he's got a lane off to the left sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds right near midfield, maybe just short of it, but a really good return there by Jake Simonchak.
You think he feels alone returning kicks by himself? Absolutely not.
He's got good blockers in front of him.
Yeah. Now, the Eagles coming into this game have not looked to be conservative, and I don't think they will be with 1:22 left and
one timeout remaining.
And up 14-9. Look for him to try to score. Going to the air. Keep your eye on speaker number 17.
And UWL will receive the second half kickoff. Shramsky back to pass. Lots of time, nowhere to go. And he tucks it and runs. Gets about 4 yards there.
Good play. Hurry up offense. Of course, check down receiver is available if the stunts occur, check down from a back doesn't usually happen.
2nd and 7. Shramsky back to throw, and he tucks it again, and he's going to run. We've got a penalty flag in the backfield.
Illegal block is what we got.
I think that's going to go against Mankuski.
You know, when I talked to Ben Shramsky at the beginning of the broadcast here this afternoon, I said he accepted blame, didn't think he's played well in the last 2 games, holding on the Eagles. I said, you know, I really am impressed with your legs. Not because he had shorts on, but because he can run the ball so well. I said, I'd like to see you tuck it in sometimes, and I'm not coaching you, so don't misunderstand, but tuck it in and you find a running lane, just go, because you have that kind of escapability. He said, maybe I'll think about that.
Maybe he's taking your advice here.
Actually, I'm somewhat kidding, but he does have the ability to scramble and make something out of what looks like often nothing.
2nd and 17 after the penalty, under 40 seconds to go here. UWL may turn a little bit conservative here. Hand off to Mankuski, stiff arms a man, and he goes down at about the 47-yard line. And under 20 seconds to go. They hurry up to the line, but they're in no hurry to get this play off here.
Little read run action that time, Shramsky.
And a timeout. Mike Schmidt's going to take a timeout.
They're
8
down.
seconds to go.
I think just review the situation basically, and okay, what are we going to do here? 3rd down. What are we going to call for? If they may call a timeout right away. What are we going to do on 4th down? Just kind of looking at different scenarios is what coaches do with timeouts in this situation.
Well, coming up next week, like we've been talking about, the Eagles will face the UW Stevens Point Pointers at Roger Herring Stadium, 6 p.m., a night game. And then the following week, they will head to UW Oshkosh. That's my brother's alma mater.
Okay. Sorry about that.
And then they'll finish off the regular season facing Platteville and River Falls. You know, possible maybe make themselves into the playoffs with a win out. You know,
we're going to talk about that, but we're in the second half. We'll be covering each of those games except the final game against Eau Claire. That is an NBC covered game, so we will take that day off. But we got to work on that because I'd like to work each Eagle game instead of most of them.
3rd and 10. Shramsky back to pass. He's looking for the Hail Mary. Passes up. It's caught, but it's going to be short of the goal line, and that's going to be the end of the first half. A heck of an effort there.
Well, the protection was incredible.
And the catch in traffic made by Cole Speaker. It's going to look good on the stat sheet, but it's not going to be enough for a score.
God, was it Speaker or was it number 22, Simonchek?
I thought I saw 17, but
okay, well, one of those two. But
we're having trouble identifying receivers this afternoon.
Not really, but we'll just say that they had half the ball each.
All right.
But they said no good anyway, so it didn't really matter.
At halftime, our score: UW La Crosse 14, UW Stout 9. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in a little bit with some stats and the halftime report. You're watching UW La Crosse Eagle football on KQEG TV.
See, I didn't even know we did get stats. She just
Every single second of my career, I've been trying to get back to this job and to be here and to be with these guys. I just, when you're around these people, when you're around these players, when you're around the people that are here, it's just such a family atmosphere, such a home atmosphere. The look of the campus has changed, but the feeling never does. Every time I come back here, every time I drive through here, that you feel that connectedness to the people that are here. And I always say I don't know if it can get any better than what it is right now, and everybody seems to prove me wrong. I don't think that people come to La Crosse without the desire to compete in the classroom. When you think of what college is, between the collegiate atmosphere, the academic competitiveness, and obviously the football tradition, when you think of college, it is La Crosse.
Surround yourself with distinction. Surround yourself with UW La Crosse.
Welcome back, everybody. It is halftime here at Don and Nona Williams Stadium here on the UW Stout campus in beautiful Menominee, Wisconsin. Got the fall colors off in our distance here. It's autumn. It's football season. It's a little chilly out here, but we're hanging in there, I think, Terry. And so we do have an update for you as to who caught that mystery touchdown pass. That was Dominic Labalarte. And so apologize to him for missing it in the moment, but thanks to the staff here at UW Stout for getting us the stats info for the first half.
We apologize to him and for his several thousand supporters that watch this broadcast, that we owe it to him to make sure that he gets considerable time on this broadcast in the second half. Oh, boy, what jumps out at you on these stats? I can tell you what jumps out at me.
Well, the one thing that jumps out on me was, from a Stout perspective, in the first quarter, Rayshon Graham had only 12 yards, and he had a big second quarter, got himself up to 60 yards. He was starting to gain his form as the second quarter went on, and he was part of that touchdown drive, scored the 16-yard touchdown with 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what jumps out at me is last week, the Eagles were 2 of 14 on third down conversions. That was a huge statistic in the loss to Whitewater. What jumps out at me at halftime here at Stout is the Eagles are 3 of 10 on third down conversions. That is a concern. And, of course, there's several things that lead up to that concern. And it's basically the fact that the Eagles have not been able to run the ball like they have hoped to, at least in the first half, 51 yards, but not much better for the Stout Blue Devils at 21 yards. But I think just looking at overall, Eagles 179 total yards, but only 85 for Stout. Big plays have done that for the Blue Devils. I think the one thing that isn't necessarily reflective on the stat sheet is the fact that the Eagles have struggled after the first possession, which was highly impressive, have struggled with their offensive line play. Struggled.
Yeah, they were basically clean, untouched that entire first possession where they just marched it right down the field. And you're right. There have been moments where, and yes, it's been some covered sacks, but it's been also some moments where, Shramsky is running for his life. So
well, and here's the issue though, when you look at it from a sort of a in-depth viewpoint. The Eagles are trying to keep some backs in there to help with coverage. That's obvious. You can look at different formation. But if the Stout Blue Devils are stunning basically on every play. So you can't really send your back out of the backfield as a check-down receiver or even a primary receiver because he's got to stay helping Shramsky. So I'm interested to see what was addressed at halftime. And I would also like to see maybe more of a quick passing kind of the thing that you see on the West Coast offense, short passes, maybe move Speaker back to tight end. He's been at split end, and maybe try to get him and other players open on short passes as we're ready for the kickoff to start the second half.
Ryan Byrne ready to kick it off. High end-over-end kick. His last one did go out of bounds, so this one stays in. It's fielded and tackled almost right away. That was number 3, Levy Hamer.
Yeah, and good tackle.
Receiver.
Good tackle by A.J. Spychala, a linebacker from Muskego. Number 38, according to my roster, making that tackle on the special teams.
Say that one 10 times fast.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to review that. So that's not one of my strengths, is kind of difficult names. It's a trouble spot for me.
I like to think I do pretty well. Sometimes
well, then tell me that one.
I think you did pretty well. Spychala. Handoff goes to Graham. Graham gains a couple of yards, taken down at the 21-yard line.
I like that hit by Rusty Murphy. He was one of my players of the game last week. 10 tackles. Rusty Murphy, the sophomore from Cudahy.
Three wide receivers wide to the right side and one to the left. The 2nd and 7 officially. Blitz coming off the edge. Pass is complete and caught, and enough for a first down.
Yeah, just a wide receiver screen, Carl, and a great block. A great block. Gonzalez on the hit. But number 3, Levi Hamer, gosh, did he do a nice job on the block on the outside.
The best receivers aren't just pass catchers, they're also good blockers.
Ask Cole Speaker. That's one of his strengths.
3 receivers left, one to the right, handoff, fake handoff, and upended right away was Noel Gonzalez, but not after he gains about 6.
Gonzalez, just a play action and a nice tackle by Villarreal, one of my favorite defensive backs. 22 tackles, and is a overachiever, I think, in terms of his size. A lot of people didn't give him credit for being a college player. He certainly has fooled them.
2nd and 4. Another overload blitz coming, and there it is. A sack coming from Elijah McGeehan.
Boy, Elijah McGeehan moved this week from outside linebacker to inside linebacker, a key component to the Eagles. You know, coming off the stunt. But both teams more stunning than what I've seen in the first 4 games.
And knocks him back to 3rd and 9 after the sack from McGeehan.
3-by-1 set.
Back to pass. And he's flushed out of the pocket. Hit as he throws. And the pass is complete and caught. Tyler Seymour, the 6'3 freshman out of Duluth, comes down with that one, number 4.
You know, we got an illegal hit, and my glasses were right on it. And it was I think it's a late hit, but it will be stand. But I do not think that was a late hit. I would like to see that again. I think that was a good hit.
Ask the National Football League what the definition of it is.
That was on McGeehan, by the way.
Got a tripping penalty against Thomas Roble. That's going to negate the play. The penalties are going to offset.
Really?
So we got the roughing the passer and the tripping from Thomas Roble.
Carl, I didn't see the tripping.
I didn't see it either. There were 2 separate flags. I thought they were both calling the hit. But no, they were.
If you saw that on replay and you clipped it out of the, I do not think that was an appropriate call on McGeehan. I'll see it on Monday, but I thought McGeehan timed it perfectly. He didn't lead with his helmet, and I think Jeff Lenahan missed that.
3rd and 9, so it's as if that last play never happened. After the offsetting penalties, back to pass. Going to the same receiver, and it's caught. This time, this one's going to stand. That was Tyler Seymour making the catch.
That was nice. Actually beat Noah Schober, who's replacing the injured Peter Kissling, for a big play and a big first down.
Quick play here to Gonzalez. Thrown out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Gains a couple of yards there.
Gonzalez trying to get behind his 2 wide receivers, try to get some yardage behind Tyler Seymour and Levi Hamer.
Second and 7. 3 receivers to the left, staying in that spread formation. Snap goes, hands off, and nowhere to run. Rayshon Graham hit immediately.
Carpenter.
Oh, sure. Excuse me, Keyshawn Carpenter. First time we've called his name. Anthony Schumann in on that one again.
We've said his name 3 times. Gerlich, too, a big kid, a freshman from Owen Withy, part of that stop for the Eagles. Big third down here for Stout.
3rd and 7. They converted on their last third down. They were 1 for 4 converting third downs in the first half. Another blitz off the edge. Pass to the boundary, and it's caught. That's Parker Fossum making the snag.
He's part of it was a very short window too, a small window, and was able to connect right behind, in front of the defensive back. That time Max Brower hit the hit, but well thrown by Borgerding.
1st and 10, down to the 25-yard line. Borgerding rides and keeps it, and he's off to his left. And we got penalty flags flying. I think we're going to have a holding penalty against the left side of the line.
Just a guess, but I think the penalty is on number 27 to the outside.
Fossum?
Yeah, I believe that is what they're going to call the freshman from Chatfield. There you go.
Good call, Terry.
Thank you.
It's almost as if you've officiated football before.
I have, but believe it or not, these are from these glasses are from World War II.
They still work.
They still work, and a close uncle of mine who was in the Air Force, fought in World War II, gave them to me before he left this earth. Isn't that something special?
That's a pretty big gift there. Keyshawn Carpenter remains in at the running back position. Borgerding in the gun. Snap back to him. Back to pass. Has a little bit of time. He's hit as he throws. And in and out of the hands, just out of the reach. I was looking for Gonzalez again.
Boy, and number 77, Thomas Roble, the 6'6", 310-pound junior from Carver, Minnesota, got away with a bad hold on the edge. How do I know that? Not with my natural eyesight, but with these glasses. A hold on the outside.
2nd and 14. After the incompletion. 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. Blitz coming. And he just spikes it into the ground, and he's thrown to the turf.
Yeah.
I think the Stout faithful want a penalty flag.
Yeah,
no call there.
And it wasn't, but viewers are gonna say, "What are you talking about?" But he got away with another hold on the edge.
3rd and 14 now after that incomplete pass. Good effort by Sean Borgerding to just get rid of it.
Sure was a good effort.
Find a running back to throw it at the feet of.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want to do. Instead of taking a huge loss, he did exactly what the coaches have taught him.
Throw it at the ankles of somebody nearby. Back to pass, and into the corner. Oh, broken up. A good recovery there. A couple of men in coverage. He was looking for Tyler Seymour on the boundary.
Yeah, the 6'3" freshman from Duluth, but well defended. Actually, that was a pretty darn good pass, too.
Thrown only where his receiver was going to be able to catch it.
That outside shoulder fade is so popular now, and, of course, Nick Holcomb did it so well for the Eagles. Tarek Yagi threw a perfect back shoulder fade.
46-yard attempt. It's long enough, and it's
good.
Drills it.
That looked – or it wasn't good.
Oh, it was wide right. Initially, it looked like they had called it good, and it was not. My mistake.
Yeah. Drew Pearson looked like he had all of that one.
Well, we're going to take a real quick break as they change sides. You're watching UW Lacrosse football on KQEG TV.
At HondaMotorworks.com, you'll find over 100 vehicles that get up to 30 miles per gallon, over 60 vehicles that get up to 40 miles per gallon, and over 25 vehicles that get up to 50 miles per gallon. Test drive them all in downtown La Crosse.
Ace of Lacrosse is your work and play headquarters when it comes to getting the job done. No place gives you better support for home, business, and industry with small engine and power tool repairs. Save by renting when you don't need to buy. Ace offers rentals on hundreds of items.
Amos from Rolling Meadows, Illinois. I like the play action, and that is really, I think, a featured play for Shramsky, is faking that spinning, doing a 180, and then opening up his field of vision. He does a nice job with that. When your offensive line does not block like you hope they would, you have to sprint out.
First and 10, 42-yard line. Back to pass and in and out of the hands of Speaker.
Jay Speaker took his eye off the ball, and I think he focused more on the defender that was right there, too, in his face. Number 4, Kieri Rhodes. Kieri from Blue Island, Illinois. Or check that, St. Paul Johnson High School. I'm familiar with that school.
And Rhodes was shaken up earlier in the game, was down, and good to see him back in the ball game. 2nd and 10 now. Fakes the handoff, back to pass, clean pocket, and a little bit overthrown. He was looking for his tight end, Zach McManus, sophomore out of Marshfield. Going to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Little change in personnel grouping on this 3rd down. This is a key 3rd down, keep this drive going for the Eagles.
Joey Stutzman checks in, number 1. 3 receivers right, 2 receivers left, empty backfield. Come with a 3-man rush. Plenty of time, nowhere to go. He slips a tackler. He's still able to get out of it, and he's almost completes that pass. Unbelievable effort by Ben Shramsky.
They're stretching the play, extending the play, and then there's that play.
That looked like an Aaron Rodgers kind of a extension of the play.
Would you call that being somewhat evasive? I think so.
Absolutely. Made 2 or 3 guys miss in the backfield, and that's the best incompletion you're going to see all day.
It is. I think it ate up 10 seconds on the clock.
That's right.
Or 15, but yet it results in nothing.
Punting away is Sean Parker. Parker, a tumbler fielded at the 29 by Heaven Hunt.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a penalty flag. We're going to bring this one back.
And it was a garden variety penalty, and actually it was that easy. The penalty on number 14. Illegal hit in the back. Number 14, Darius Huntley, 5'8", 160-pound sophomore from Eisenhower High School, Blue Island, Illinois. All of a sudden, I'm starting to get cold. Sneezing.
Yeah, your nose starts to run a little bit.
You said twice during this broadcast, a beautiful fall afternoon. It's like, what are you talking about?
Terry, you know what? It could be in the 20s. You know, I'm looking at silver linings here.
It's the first week in October. What are you talking about?
It's been colder before. Let me tell you. You know, last season, Art Fay and Ryan Scaife and I were here for a Menominee versus Holman playoff football game. It was about 38 degrees and sleeting.
But you were inside.
No, we were right here where we're sitting. Back to pass. Finds Hamer. Stiff arm and tackled down. Good effort there.
Oh, was it ever. That was not easy in the open field. Max Brower. You know, I love working college football. I love working high school football. I don't like working in October when you cannot get into a press box. So.
Or November even.
Or November. But, I like coming here. I've worked many, many big games, college games here in basketball, but very seldom do you go to a college game and you're working ESPN, you're a Fox, or you're one of the lead broadcasting groups, and you have to sit outside.
We're making do, Terry.
I know. I'm just kidding, but the pocket folded on him, didn't it?
And we got a late penalty flag coming in. There was a very bad missed holding.
Oh, we're not going to get that on the Eagles. Josh Dorschner from Neenah, are we? Oh man, I think it might be too.
It looks like that's the way they're facing.
I hope it's not, because if it is, and I'm not on the field, I get it, but if that's the discussion, it's maybe too excitement, too much celebration, taunting. I don't know. It's something. Oh, see, I knew. I had that feeling. Now, I'd like to see that play again as an assigner, as an evaluator, as a coordinator. I'm sorry, but I do not see that was a legitimate call. I do not.
It was too difficult to really see that clearly from where we sit, but you're right, That's a tough one to swallow, but it is first down.
Carl, 2 penalties that were questionable, in my view, hurt the Eagles.
First and 10, 30-yard line after the penalty. Back to pass. Borgading going over the middle and overthrown. I think Hamer might have stumbled a little bit in his route.
Yeah, but he wasn't open anyway, stumble or no stumble. Noah Schober this afternoon, who has replaced the captain, the senior from Oregon, Peter Kissling, has played well.
Oregon, that's where my mom and dad live now.
Really? So you've referenced 3 family members during this broadcast that live in certain areas.
You know what?
You're all over the place.
I know a lot of people. I don't even know why I do, but I do. It sounds like you know a lot of people, though, too. So.
All right. Second down and 10.
Back to pass. Clean pocket. And stumbles, and we're going to get a pass interference call against Max Brower.
Yeah, we are.
Tangled up with the receiver.
Not much contact, but guess what? It was the right call.
And
Brower beaten a little bit. I really will compliment good calls. I really will.
Yeah.
I like that. But then I'll also questionable other calls.
That's fair.
Just like I make my share of questionable calls as an official, too. I know it.
Terry, you've never missed a call in your life.
Oh, yes, I have.
The key as an official is to just stand behind what happened. You've made the call, and you can't go back on it. So
I think more than that is not to guess on a call.
That's right.
And is it defendable after the game? That is the key sentence in evaluating your officiating. Stunt by the Eagles.
And the pass looking for Hamer, but just a good effort there to get rid of it as he had men in his face.
It was. Going back to that officiating kind of a point, if you can defend a call after the game on tape, you made the right call. If you're about to make,
this is what I saw.
Yeah,
that's how I perceived it, and you just move on.
But if it's not defendable, it's like I wasn't sure either. I just guessed. Like,
yeah,
we got a problem.
Can't do that.
We got a problem.
2nd and 10. Hands off to Graham. Makes a couple of men miss, slips a tackler, still going across the 40 and far into Eagle territory, down almost to the 35-yard line. Going to get him at the 37, and complaint on the edge there. Villarreal looking for a penalty flag, I think.
Well, let's go back to that, why that play was successful. Number 61, Justin Herbst, the 6'2 junior from Park Falls. A great block.
1st and 10, 37-yard line. Graham takes it again. Taken down there Rusty Murphy.
Ooh, an early whistle.
And there's no going back on that whistle. Murphy thought he had the football, and
well, Murphy made the tackle. Rusty Murphy did, and an early whistle, and the Eagle coaches are not happy.
You could see the whole sideline light up after that one.
Well, I would say erupted.
Going at tempo, 2nd and 9. Swing pass over to Gonzalez is caught and makes a man miss and is tackled down inside the 30.
Boy, that time Rashawn Graham was the reason with that wide receiver screen for that completion. Oh, the Eagles need really something to happen now. They need to really ignite defensively and look for somebody to make a big play. 3-by-1 set by the Blue Devils.
1st and 10, 27-yard line. 6:11 to go in the third quarter here. Handoff goes to Carpenter.
Yeah, we got a holding too, fortunately.
Keyshawn Carpenter carries for
Tackle
the
by number 40, but Elijah McGee in the middle of that Eagle defense, but the holding call will be against the Blue Devils.
That's number 64, the center, Bailey Rue from Rice Lake, getting called for that one. The wind has started to pick up a little bit here, Terry, from our left to right.
Now, if we were working at UWL, we wouldn't know that because we'd be inside.
We can look at the flag and see it. 1st and 20 after the penalty. Knocks him back. Man in his face, and the pass is caught, but actually I think it's going to be for a loss. Gonzalez makes the catch, Noah Gonzalez, but it's right at the line of scrimmage, or maybe a 1-yard loss.
Noah Gonzalez
back.
in our depth chart as the number 2 wide receiver, but he's figured in quite a bit.
Very popular target in the slot.
With 11 catches for 130 yards coming into this game, only 5'8".
One of those slippery little slot receivers that Bill Belichick seems to love so much.
Yeah, 3-by-1 set here on 2nd down.
And a whistle before the play.
I think it was a delay of game, it was.
Yep. That's going to knock it back 5 more to 2nd and 26.
You know, Carl, that's disappointing. High school, you have to watch the back judge because he's chopping time. But in college, you're looking right at the play clock, and you need to be able to manage the clock.
2nd and 26. Back to pass. Pressure coming. And the ball is stripped out. It's loose. It's picked up by the Eagles.
Now, that was not an early whistle. It better not have been. The Eagles indeed stripped by that defensive line and recovered by number 96, Josh Dorschner.
And as they switch sides, we're going to take a quick break. 4:58 to go in the third quarter. 14-9, Eagles in the lead.
When you buy a used car, you want to make certain you're not buying someone else's troubles.
Hi, this is Travis with Tri-State Auto Center in La Crescent.
We do our best to provide all the information you need, including what the vehicle is worth, so you can make an informed decision on the purchase of your next quality pre-owned vehicle.
We inspect, certify, and warranty our cars.
Come see our affordable selection. If you're looking for something special, let me find it for you. Tri-State Auto Center, Highways 1461 on the Pike in La Crescent.
Pass incomplete. Thrown behind his receiver.
Ben Shramsky needs to pick up his game a little bit. He told me I'll take blame for it, and I said, well, you maybe didn't play your best game, but you're still a valuable asset, and now as we are at 5-minute mark in the third quarter, he needs to really produce.
2nd and 10, 39-yard line. Handoff goes to Clark, who's ripped down. A lot of lateral movement, and I don't even think he gained a yard on that one, maybe.
Boy, number 9, the inside linebacker, Luke Wills, was right there too. It looked like there may have been a seam, but it didn't last long.
4 minutes and 30 seconds to go, third quarter here. Carl Greenfield and Terry Erickson.
With his gloves on now.
He's mitted up. 3rd and 9. Shramsky back to throw. Over the sideline and incomplete. He was looking for Cole Speaker, who dove and made a good effort, but out of his reach. And the punting unit will come on.
Boy, 3 and gone again. We talked about the stats at halftime were not very impressive for the Eagles on 3rd down conversions.
Well, it's been a lot of 3rd and long.
Yeah.
It's not been 3rd and manageable.
It has not.
Sean Parker back to punt it away. Spirals it towards the left sideline. Fair catch called for by Heaven Hunt.
Oh, good job, Heaven Hunt. He looks to the heavens.
Oh, boy, Terry.
Decides
You're killing me.
Decides to fair catch it. And by the way, we talked about at halftime, Eagles, 3 for 10.
It hasn't improved in this third quarter.
They're probably maybe 4 for 12 as a guess, and that is a recipe for disaster.
But nevertheless, they have retained the lead. Couple of turnovers that they've converted, a fumble recovery and an interception. The Eagles turned the ball over once in the game. Handoff goes to Graham. Met initially by number 50.
Yeah, actually 55, Rusty Murphy. But, you know, you look at textbook tackling, and that you wrap up. You use your shoulders. You don't use your head. You do a rugby style. You do what Seattle teaches, and that was a great tackle.
2nd and 7 after the first down play to Graham. Perfectly timed blitz, but picked up, and he gets it out to the receiver. That's Hamer.
Boy, lots of room to run. It looked like initially, but Jacob Gerzik just strung the play out perfectly in a 3rd down again. We'll see if the Blue Devils can convert.
3rd and 6. Both teams have struggled to convert on 3rd downs.
2 by 1 with a H back in this formation. Who goes in motion?
That's Dustin Rondorf, man in motion. Hamer makes the catch, but he's going to be short of the first down.
He's going to be short, Carl, by 1 yard. And I don't think you go for it in this field position, but we'll see. No, you don't. And it appears
the punting unit will come on. Sean McGee, the senior from Rice Lake.
You know, when you're down 14-9, 2 minutes to go, field position, 30, your own 39. Do you take a chance?
It's huge.
You don't.
Yeah, no.
You don't.
Field position is everything in a close game like this when scoring has been at a premium. We saw a fake punt last night in Onalaska. Onalaska ran it for a first down, but no fake punt here. Fielded by Simonchek. Shifts off to his right. Got a little bit of room and cuts it back up. Still going and tackled down at midfield.
Do you like his ability to run in space? Oh, yeah, I guess you do. I asked myself the question, really, and I answered it myself. I just, you look at his frame. It doesn't necessarily conducive to being a superstar in football.
No,
I'm not saying superstar. I misstated that. I'm saying a contributing factor, and he is.
Yeah. Simonchek built a lot like the punt returner for the Bears, Tariq Cohen, 5'6", 175 pounds. Back to pass, Shramsky finds his man, and it's caught.
Oh, Labarti.
Laballarti.
I'm sorry, I've said it 100 times. Maybe it's the nice weather that you're referring to all the time that's creating a little bit of a stumble in my voice.
A little shimmer in your voice.
Yeah. But Labarte, I like him as a player, and he's a good compliment to Speaker.
Got the big receiver and you got the little receiver, and that's a good combo. Handoff goes to Mankoski. Drives the pile over to the 35-yard line, 2-yard gain there.
Bradley Schultz, the veteran offensive lineman, senior return starter from Plainview, making a good block. So important now as we near the end of the third quarter for the Eagles in great field position to put some points on the board.
Second and 8, back to pass Shramsky. Surveys and throws to the sideline. It's caught.
Oh,
what
wow.
a play there by Trenton Smith.
Jeez,
finding the gap in the defense.
And what a
zip of a throw, too.
It was a radar shot, but what a tight window between two defenders. You know, that if we went back and looked at that pass, you'd say that was pretty special.
That's going to get them down to the 13-yard line where they'll have a first down. Eagles threatening here as the third quarter comes to a close. Shramsky, option, pitches to Mankoski, and he gets a couple of yards before he's taken down at about the 11.
But we haven't seen that play this afternoon yet, but first time we've seen the option.
Judge Schlegel and Zach Donahue.
Schlegel making the tackle. Junior out of Baldwin, Wisconsin.
Talked about his abilities as a junior. Big interception last week in that win over Eau Claire.
And that is the end of the third quarter. The clock has expired. I don't know why there isn't a whistle. There we go.
Yeah, it was 2 seconds before the whistle blew on that.
And so with the score, UW La Crosse 14, UW Stout 9, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with the fourth quarter. You're watching UW La Crosse Eagles football on KQEG TV and KQEGTV.com.
At Ace of La Crosse, they know that playtime around here goes year-round. Make the Sportsland stop before you head out hunting, fishing, or camping for quality products and services at great prices. Talk over your outdoor plans with the experts at Ace of La Crosse, your work and play headquarters. Ace of La Crosse is your work and play headquarters. When it comes to getting the job done, no place gives you better support for home, business, and industry with small engine and power tool repairs. Save by renting when you don't need to buy. Ace offers rentals on hundreds of items. Ace of La Crosse is your...
Welcome back, everybody. Fourth quarter here. Eagles threatening. I'm Carl Greenfield with Terry Erickson. We got Luke on the camera today. And the Eagles heading to the south end zone now.
I would venture to guess that our viewers are on the edge of their seats on this possession because it is critical.
This could be do or die. This is a big one. Shramsky hands off. Mankoski upended and down inside the 5-yard line.
Well, let's credit at that time number 66, Connor Perry. You know, that offensive line has been maligned a lot, and on several successful plays here this afternoon, they deserve some credit too.
3rd and 2. They can still get a first down without reaching the end zone. 5-yard line. Hands off to Mankoski, and he reaches across, and he's going to be right at the first down.
Mankoski carries, tackled by Luke Wills.
Luke Wills, he's figured in on a lot of tackles, and you notice how Mankoski just really desperately tried to get out of that leg tackle and wasn't able to get any further, but the Eagles, again, 4th down. Oh, and it looks like the punt team, or let me check that. The field goal team coming in.
It would make it an 8-point game if Ryan Byrne is able to make this one.
Yeah, wise decision, too.
On a 4th and 1.
I have confidence in his kicking ability.
Lewandowski, the holder. Hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. Ryan Byrne tacks on the field goal, and that's a big one. 21 yards on that one, and it's going to make it a 17-9 UW La Crosse lead.
What's the recipe to success now in this fourth quarter? Stop the Blue Devil offense and keep them behind the chains and make them throw the ball. Then put pressure with your blitz, and then second of all, sustained drive to keep the ball out of the hands of the Blue Devil offense. Pretty simple recipe for success, but that's what you want to see.
After 3 quarters, our stats are really even across the board. Total offense, UWL has 232 total yards, and Stout has 217. 56 on the ground, 176 through the air for UWL. 80 on the ground and 137 through the air for Stout. The time of possession, Stout with 22:08, UWL with 20 minutes and 56 seconds. So all of this very, very close. And the only difference we really see is on the scoreboard.
Well, thanks for sharing that since I didn't get a copy.
Well, this copy actually hit me in the face coming through the window. I think Mike Kearns tossed it down.
Oh, nice coverage.
Nice tackle on the return.
3 Eagles right there. That's great coverage. Aaron Benson, a 5'7", number 53, 5'7" junior from Arcadia. You know where Arcadia is, part of that.
Home of Ashley Furniture.
Yeah.
That was the main place to stop when my wife and I lived in Chippewa Falls when we would come and visit family in La Crosse. That was right on our way coming through Arcadia.
We bought a few things over the years at Ashley Furniture.
That's where we got our couch.
The home of Scott Fredrickson, by the way, who was a standout at Arcadia and ended up setting some records right here on this field.
Back to pass. Borgerding has a lot of time, throws deep downfield, and it is complete.
Caught in front of A.J. Villarreal. 27 catches it in front of 27.
That's Parker Fossum.
Too much of a gap between Villarreal and Fossum.
And the big play brings it to midfield, and up-tempo offense for Stout. Here they go. No huddle. Hands off to Carpenter, spins, makes another man miss, and keeps on moving. It's going to be a first down.
Geez, Elijah McGeehan upset with himself, Carl, because he had him for about a 1-yard gain. And for young people watching the broadcast, his spin brought him out of the tackle, and he got the additional yardage.
And Carpenter, not a big young man, 5'9", 185, but strong legs to keep that pile moving. And quarterback keep off to the right side. Gains about 3 there, Borgerding.
Villarreal with a great open field because of his ability to tackle at the legs. Got an official's timeout.
Got a player injury here.
We're ready to go.
I'm not sure who it was that was injured. They must have already gotten him off the field.
Whoever was injured is injured on the sideline.
That was quick. Here we go, 2nd and 7. 12:15 to go. Back to pass. And it's tipped at the line.
Job.
Nice play there.
The key when you rush the passer is get your hands up. Anthony Schumann.
We've called his name many a time today.
That will be pointed out in the film session. The defensive coordinator, Matt Janish, will say that's the way you play defense in the defensive line.
If you can't get to the passer, get your arms up as he lets it go.
You'd be a good defensive lineman with a 6'6" frame.
I played defensive end. I was not real big around, but I was long and lanky, and I could.
You disrupted the quarterback.
I could get around an edge, and I could pass rush. Run stopping was an issue. Pass is picked off. Interception by McGeehan. He's got some room to run. He stiff arms a man, and he goes out of bounds. Elijah McGeehan tips it to himself and intercepts it.
McGeehan, you talk about defining moments in games. That could be the defining moment in this WIAC game this afternoon.
As they trade sides, we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be back with the final 12 minutes. You're watching UW Lacrosse football on KQEG TV.
At Ace of Lacrosse, they know that playtime around here goes year-round. Make the Sportsland stop before you head out hunting, fishing, or camping for quality products and services at great prices. Talk over your outdoor plans with the experts at Ace of Lacrosse, your work and play headquarters.
Welcome back, everybody. Interception by Elijah McGeehan sets up this possession. Almost a one-handed catch there by Zach McManus. Good effort there.
Yeah, Zach McManus has got the size, too, and I know they run drills where they just use one hand, and that time it was nearly caught by him. 2nd and 10.
Eagles back to the line quickly. 11:54 to go. 17-9 in the lead. Schramsky, hands off, and we've got a gain of a couple there, it looks like, for Mankuski.
A couple of tough yards, ran into the grasp of number 9, Luke Wills. Weiskup too, but Wills. We've called that name a lot. I mean, we always try to get players of the game, and right now he is one of the defensive standouts, no question about it. Luke Wills from Triton, Minnesota.
Third and 9, another 3rd and long here for the Eagles. Back to pass, and he tucks it and runs. He's got the first down and more. Good effort by Ben Schramsky. And we've got a man down on the field. It's a little slow to get up. I think that's number 71, Scott Gustafson. And he sits down, holding his head. Boy.
While we're taking a quick break, Schramsky didn't see anybody open, Carl.
Immediately.
Didn't see anybody open. So what does he do? He looks, he sees a seam up the middle, and he's able to get the first yard. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you and I talked about earlier on when I met with him and had just a nice conversation. I said, you got the ability to do what he just did. I mean, and of course he doesn't need me to tell him that, but that was great poise, and it showed his ability to get the first down.
And Scott Gustafson still, he's sitting upright now as the training staff tends to him, the 6'1", 230-pound freshman from Victoria, Minnesota.
I don't like that because it looks like a
head injury.
It does.
And they're still tending to him. Want to remind you, next week, 6 p.m., we will have kickoff of the UW Lacrosse UW Stevens Point game from Roger Herring Stadium. A big round of applause here for Scott Gustafson as he gets off with some assistance from teammates, and hopefully Gustafson is all right.
Well, we wish him the best. You know, there's lots of concussion injuries in football at all levels, and it's
scary.
Continues to be a point of concern.
First and 10 after the Schramsky scramble and run. 39-yard line. Back to pass. Pump fakes the swing pass deep to his receiver. It's caught, and it's a touchdown. Cole Speaker.
And you know what did that?
And we got a penalty flag after the play. Speaker's helmet has come off. I don't know what the call is.
You know what did that, Carl? What did that was the pump fake of Shramsky. Allowed Speaker to get open on a fly pattern down the sideline. Oh, my gosh, was that special. Perfect pass. And
we'll see what the call is
equally
here. And the face mask was actually what ripped off the helmet for Shramsky, and that's going to be enforced on the kickoff.
What a special catch that was. Oh,
and what a special throw.
Oh, was it ever.
Or face mask on Speaker, excuse me. I said Shramsky. Byrne on to attempt the extra point. Snap is good. Kick is blocked, grabbed by Ryan Byrne, and he's tackled. So no good there.
That's a point of concern right there.
That's his second kick that's blocked. He had that long 50-yard field goal blocked, which you can understand, but on a PAT, that's not good.
No. Dylan Peterson getting his big frame up there and block that. I'm sure that will be worked on Monday, that snap, the hold, and the trajectory issue. It appears to be. Well, you talk about breathing room. You talk about a special play. You talk about coming through when you really need it. That happened on that last play.
And in a game like this, where, like I've said, scoring has been at a premium, to get a 2-touchdown lead is a big cushion.
Well, because their ability to score is pretty apparent. I mean, they've shown flashes of a great offense. So now to have a little breathing room, Carl, so the defense is not on pins and needles, that's important.
That's big. Kickoff will commence from the 50-yard line after the face masking penalty enforced on the kickoff.
First year, by the way, the new college rule is inside the 25, you can fair catch it in college football.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just for punts anymore. Burns' kickoff is deep and back through the end zone. That is the one thing that I never will understand is when you get that gift of a 50-yard line kickoff, why do you pound it through the end zone? Why not try and pop kick it and force them to make a decision?
Or go
inside?
directional.
Yeah.
You know, there's been talk, too, and some of the authors and experts in injuries have talked about eliminating the kickoff in football.
I know.
And I'm not sure whether that'll happen in the near future, but it's been talked about.
The NFL has modified their rules where they're only allowed to be 2 yards away from the point of kickoff, so they don't get as big of a running start.
I noticed
certainly
that.
Helps with the contact. First and 10, 25-yard line.
Because we got to delay a game. Because what you're saying is the violent collisions occur on punt return, kickoff return, and so on. There's no doubt about it.
So the delay of game makes it first and 15. And back at the 20-yard line. Hands off to Graham. Stuffed immediately after maybe a gain of a yard.
Looked like they're putting him on his shoulders to celebrate the hit. That tackle by, was that Zach Bowdry, the defensive lineman from Franklin, I believe. I haven't seen him play much. He's a returning letter winner at 270.
Second and 14 after a gain of 1. Blitz coming. Pass over to Fossum, just a little bit underthrown to him. That's a long throw, Terry.
Yeah, two defenders right there, too. Number 51, Gerzak, right there, along with Max Brower. 3-by-1 again on 3rd down and 12.
.10:03 to go. 23-9 Eagles in the lead. Lot of time and incomplete, looking for Hamer, and he threw it behind him. He had him with a step, and he probably could have gotten a first down had that pass been leading him, but it was behind him.
Elijah McGee ready to pounce on him too, and did a nice job of disrupting that pass, and the Eagles about to get the ball back again.
Howie's on La Crosse has been a landmark for decades, so before or after the game, stop at Howie's for lunch or dinner. Breakfast from 10 to noon on weekends. Happy hour Monday through Friday 2 to 6 and late night 9 to midnight. Howie's on La Crosse, just east of campus at 1128 La Crosse Street. High punt fielded by Simonchek. Got some room, stutter steps, and he's pushed out. And going to have really good field position after that. Jake Simonchek returns it all the way to the 42-yard line.
He's been impressive here this afternoon.
Yeah, so far, punt returning, that was his third punt return today. His first two for a total of 50 yards, averaging 25 yards a return, and that one was pretty close to 25 yards there too.
Well, let's credit his blocking on that on his punt return success this afternoon also.
Yeah, you know, Devin Hester and Deion Sanders weren't just special returners. They had really good blockers.
Eagles now with illegal participation had one too many players on the field, and Mankuski was the 12th, so he leaves after the huddle, which means 5 yards.
Makes it 1st and 15. It's been a pretty clean game in terms of penalties. We've had a few here and there, but, you know, neither team really been heavily penalized. Schramsky back to pass. Over the middle, finds Speaker. Makes a man miss and is tackled down. Going to be very close to a first down. And I think they're going to give it to him.
Schramsky's pass is complete to Cole Speaker.
Speaker right across the middle, and from a wide receiver out inside the hash marks. His kind of safety valve is Speaker, who's such a quality
good possession receiver, but
he is.
You know,
and
he's also got that big play ability, as we've seen.
Yeah, and he's got the big frame, and he doesn't drop many passes.
And a low throw. Bounce passes are good for basketball, but not football, as that one's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, it was a Devontae Adams. I'm not a shortstop. I can't catch these little.
Devontae Amos, that is.
Amos, I said.
Devontae Adams is the receiver for Green Bay.
Yeah, I did know.
Both receivers.
I did know that, by the way. Well, I like him too.
He's a good ball player. 2nd and 10. Handoff goes to Clark. Spin move and tackled down at about the 25-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play.
I believe that's one of the best runs I have seen Jalen Clark all season long, and I would like to see him get the ball more. He just has not produced like I know he can. That was an impressive run, but he got good blocking by Vazanoya and Schultz.
8:40 left to go. 3rd and 3. Schramsky hands to Clark. Jump step, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down.
2.5 yards short of that magic first down. 4 down territory or a field goal.
Ryan Burns certainly has the leg, and the wind has shifted a little bit. It's not quite at his back right now.
Well, the
It'd be a little bit of a cross breeze.
Yeah. The special teams coach for the Eagles, by the way, is head coach Mike Schmidt, and he's the decision maker. He said, we're going for it. Do they go to the air or the ground? I say the air.
One receiver left, one receiver right. Back to pass, going deep, and broken up. An excellent play there by Jed Schlegel. And a turnover on downs as they go for it on 4th down.
Intended for McManus, but that was a well defended. Thought McManus had him by a step, but closed out well.
Good recovery there by Jed Schlegel to get a hand in. Knocked that ball away. The Blue Devils will take over on their own 25-yard line.
Just a mild sense of urgency, wouldn't you say, for the Blue Devils?
The Blue Devils have had some success going through the air today, and they're going to need it right now. Hamer and Gonzalez, their top 2 receivers today. Back to pass. Throws over to, that's Parker Fossum.
Pass complete to Parker Fossum.
Fossum.
That's his 3rd catch of the day.
He's played well too. Max Brower from Woodlands, Texas, making the tackle.
7:30 left in the game. Fake the handoff. Long pass over to Gonzalez with a wide receiver screen, and he's pushed out of bounds, but not before he gains the first.
Pass complete to Noel Gonzalez.
He's certainly a quality player on the edge. Got that speed to break it in space.
Well, at 5'8", 165, you'd hope he has speed, or otherwise I don't know what he's out there for.
Yeah, Noah Schober making the hit, out of bounds.
1st and 10, 49-yard line.
3-by-1 set and a stunt.
Little bit of a running back screen, and Rayshawn Graham with another first down.
When you stunt, you obviously create a space. You give up an area. When you send linebacker blitzing, you give up the area. It's up to the quarterback to find that void.
7 minutes to go. 1st and 10, 39-yard line. Borgerding all kinds of time. Finds his receiver, and it's caught. What a catch by Levy Hamer.
Yeah, but he had a lot of time, didn't he? He had Levy Hamer with a big one.
Levy Hamer, 5'10", but played that one like he was 6'2".
Schober again making the hit.
Handoff goes to Rayshawn Graham, who's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. That's Anthony Schumann again making that tackle.
The homecoming crowd has been kind of silent. They're coming alive a little bit as we approach 8 minutes, and an impressive drive for Stout.
2nd and 9, 20-yard line. Stout trailing by 2 touchdowns. And pass is complete to Fossum, and he's tumbled down. The ball comes loose, but they're saying that he was down at about the 4-yard line.
A tight window again, Carl. And between Schober and number 31, Max Brower, and a tight window, but he connects.
1st and goal, Blue Devils.
Under 6 minutes to go. 1st and goal, 5-yard line. Borgerding takes it himself, cuts up, gains a couple yards. He's going to be down at about the 2.5-yard line.
Looked like he could have went that time, but Jake Gerzik came up from that linebacker spot and made the hit. That was a TD in the making, except for Gerzik.
Villareal and Zachary Zilmer on the stop.
2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Blue Devils threatening. Handoff goes to Graham. Bounces it outside. He's got one man to beat, and he's got the effort, and he's going to be just short of the goal line. An incredible effort by Rayshawn Graham.
If one window's closed, go to the other window, right? And he did. Noah Schober, Max Brower right there, but boy, outsized by the
and a quarterback keeper, and it's a touchdown.
Just a tempo play. Get to the line of scrimmage and go. You don't need any calls from the sideline. It's predetermined. That's what the Blue Devils did.
UW Stout with a touchdown there, scored by the quarterback, Sean Borgerding, the freshman out of Spring Valley. And Terry, we got ourselves a ball game again. A one-score football game with 4:45 to go. Drew Pearson on to attempt the extra point. Wind in his face for what it's worth. Kick is up, and it is true.
Well, that was probably the most impressive drive, not just because of the fourth quarter, the urgency and the time and so on, but just the entire way the Blue Devils attacked the Eagle defense. It was highly impressive.
And that was a very balanced attack, even for a team that trails by 2 touchdowns. They were able to use the ground, to a degree and keep themselves from being one-dimensional.
Speaking of one-dimensional, with the Eagles about to get this kickoff with 4:45 left. Now, you don't have to be a very astute football fan to know that it's all now about sustaining a drive. Sustaining a drive, mixing up the run, the pass, but ball security, such a vital part.
Absolutely.
And not because of the methodical way that the Blue Devils just scored, how impressive they were. Give them the ball back, and we got a problem. A potential problem.
Both teams with a full complement of timeouts.
And what's this based on, really, to take it one more step? Offensive line play in the last 4 minutes.
Kickoff by Pearson. Angles towards the sideline and is fair caught.
Kind of what you and I talked about. I see a lot of teams use this first year, of course, if you didn't hear before, that you can fair catch a kickoff and it goes to the 25-yard line. You like that rule?
We went back to the safety of kickoffs and the concerns with the collisions. I think it does certainly reduce the amount of high-speed collisions. As a true football fan, do I love it? Maybe not, but
well, you're a purist, in other words.
I'm a little bit old school, a little more of a purist, but
well, step up to the times, my boy.
And the handoff goes to Mankuski, room to run across midfield. Stutter steps, make a man miss, and he's tackled down inside the 30-yard line. Austin Mankuski with a huge gain.
It starts up front with some great blocking, but it also, part of that success story was riding the fullback and the uncertainty that it produced by the defense, unsure of whether Shramsky was going to get the ball or Mankuski.
Coming up on 4 minutes to go, Austin Mankuski, biggest play of the day, would you say, Terry?
I would, and if this holds true in the score and we talk about it at the Mike Schmidt Show, we're going to reference that particular play.
Clark replaces Mankuski in the backfield. Handoff goes to Clark. And off the left-hand side, not a whole lot of room there. He's met pretty quickly.
Well, he's met by Mason Olson, that's 6'2", 285 from Clear Lake, Wisconsin. I know most communities in the state of Wisconsin, but I don't know Clear Lake.
I've heard of it, but
I assume it's up north.
I'm not 100% sure where it is.
Well, I know it's on a lake.
Probably.
And I know it's a clear lake, but I don't know the location.
There'd be a great deal of irony if there was no lake there.
Yeah, I'd say.
2nd and 9, 3 minutes and 26 seconds to go. Eagles going to milk the clock as much as they can. Back to pass, Shramsky goes off to the flat, and it's incomplete. Looking for Trenton Smith, the fullback.
Shramsky didn't like himself on that because Smith open and not a good pass. Just a little to his outstretched hands. Could have got a first down. Got to make those. Got to connect on those.
And not only does it make it a 3rd and long, but it also stops the clock, which is not what the Eagles are looking to do right now. Snap to Shramsky, rolls to his right. Little inside screen. Toss to Mankuski. He lost the football. And what is the call?
The call is going to be a fumble recovery, I believe.
They're conferring. There has still been no signal yet. To me, it looked like he was down on the ground, and that's what caused the fumble.
Well, the decision will be who blew the whistle, who made the right call, or who came in, who had the best view and the angle is what it'll be.
And they're saying that it is UW Stout football. Then number 23, Jed Schlegel, come out of the pile with that one, and it's a big, bad turnover.
It is, and I don't think Mike Schmidt's very happy about that, and he had a better angle than we did. And if usually when he says something, Carl, he has a justifiable point. He's not like a lot of coaches that look for reasons to complain all the time.
And Mike is a pretty even-keeled individual under most circumstances, so for him to be upset.
All right, Eagle defense.
Here we go.
They're up to the challenge. They played well the entire game.
21-yard line, 1st and 10. Borgening takes it himself, and he's taken down in the backfield.
Oh, wow.
And a great play there.
Rusty Murphy. Oh, my gosh. Now, you probably think I'm exaggerating. I'm not, because Rusty Murphy played assignment football, meaning his job was the quarterback on that option.
And he went and got him.
He did.
2nd and 11, 1-yard loss on that play. All 3 timeouts in the pocket. Back to pass. He's got a step. He's got his man. And nothing but green in front of him, and he is ripped down. But Tyler Seymour with a big gain, tackled down by Max Brower.
Yeah, a play-action pass and a highlight tape on that particular play. Led him perfectly. Not much help over the top.
Seymour with a big gain. 2:18 left. 17-yard line, 1st and 10. Going to the end zone, a push,
yes,
and no call, but it's a touchdown,
whoa.
Tyler Seymour.
He got away with offensive pass interference. Would you agree?
I would absolutely agree.
Oh, boy. Boy, the official on the sideline did not see it clearly.
Shoved the defender straight to the ground. I'm very surprised to not see that one called, but
wow.
UW Stout is 1 PAT away from tying this one. Drew Pearson set to do it. Kick is up, and it is good.
Unless my eyes deceive me, it was clearly offensive pass interference.
To me, that's where I saw it, but
and if
you
it
gotta
was,
move on.
And if it wasn't, I will take it back.
We'll have to take a look at the replay later, Terry, and evaluate. But in the moment, it definitely looked like a pass interference.
Oh, wow! Mike Schmidt's talking to the official, and he is right. That's a concerning thing to let go. Oh, man.
Well, 2:09 left to go. Both teams 3 timeouts. UW La Crosse will get the football back.
Wow. I got to let that go, but
that's going to be tough.
I got to let that go, and I will, but you have got to make that call.
A big moment. Got to credit Tyler Seymour to make that catch, making 2 big catches on that drive. And now Stout with the momentum and a tie football game. Caught at the 5-yard line, Simonchek. Got a blocker, and he's pushed out of bounds past the 30-yard line at the 34. And we've got some pushing and shoving on the sidelines.
On the return for the Eagles.
And a lot of extracurriculars there. No call there.
And why wasn't that simply, why did we get that last time then, when there was a penalty instead of just diffusing it? Now we didn't get a penalty. I mean, come on.
Got to be consistent.
And I hope our viewers don't think my mission is to criticize officials, because it's not.
36-yard line, 2:03 to go.
Well, can you get it down for Ryan Byrne to kick a winning field goal? Let's see.
Ryan Byrne has done a few in his day. The play clock has expired, and they're blowing the whistle. And they're going to march it back 5 yards, a delay game against the offense.
Did the clock game?
I'm not sure it ever got reset.
Did the
properly.
play clock start early? Did it start early? And the answer Luke says is yes. It started early. Luke, our cameraman.
It seemed awfully quick.
Oh, wow.
Eagles needing to overcome here. 31-yard line, 1st and 15. Back to pass. Tromsky in trouble, and that's going to be intentional grounding. There's no receiver anywhere near him. Threw it at a lineman.
Yeah. And okay, that was the right call. That was absolutely the correct call. Instead of throwing it out of bounds, he threw it too far inbounds, and it was.
And that's a big loss. Big loss there. It's a spot of the foul, loss of down. You figure it just like you would a sack. It's now 2nd and 27.
I don't like the flavor of what I see here with 2 minutes to go, meaning that we're going in the wrong direction.
A big 2nd down here to get some of this yardage back. Tromsky back to pass, inside screen, and he was taken down almost before the ball arrived.
Almost pass interference, yes.
That's very close.
Marginal.
Coverage there by Aaron Wisecup, the defensive lineman on Austin Mankuski.
Now, what are you going to call now? Okay, 3rd down and 20. Okay, you know you're going to see a stunt, Carl. You know you have to be careful with the football. You know that you have to really read well and get good protection. And you're looking to get a 1st down without giving the ball up. You're going to need a Herculean effort on this play.
Whistle blows. Delay of game. We'll bring up 3rd and 32.
Are the Eagles self-destructing?
That's what it appears like right now. They had a 2-touchdown lead early in this 4th quarter.
You almost have to send your wideouts deep now to vacate an area and then throw
underneath.
I
agree. Some room to throw. It is complete to Speaker. There he goes. 1st down, Eagles. Pushed out of bounds. What a play by Cole Speaker.
Wait a minute. First, pretty good protection. Second of all, Stramsky stepped up in the pocket, and he opened his vision, and Speaker caught a difficult pass, Carl.
In double coverage. What a catch by Speaker. The best catch of the day.
Oh, the excitement returns to the Eagles sideline.
On a 3rd and 32, the Eagles convert. Minute 43 to go. 1st down. Handoff to Mankuski.
Oh, no.
And a spin move, and he's got a couple yards.
Clock management now. Clock management. This is not the setting to go into OT. That would be a kind of a tenuous position for the Eagles to go into overtime, I think.
I would tend to agree, Terry. Minute 20 to go. I think part of what Coach Schmidt is looking to do is keep it from giving Stout any time on the clock should they get the ball back. Tromsky back to pass, hit as he throws, overthrown.
Just a little bit, a little mild pressure, but overthrown by a little bit, and it brings
for Labilarte.
Brings down another critical 3rd down.
3rd and 8.
Well, can Ben Shramsky take the Eagles at least to field goal territory? You need another Probably 10 yards.
I would say, the wind has died down. It's very mild right now, but you got to figure you got to get it at least within a 50-yard attempt.
3-by-1 set. And good protection.
Shromsky scrambles to the left, throws, and it is tipped and out of bounds. Ooh, boy, that was nearly intercepted.
There was some intense pressure that developed a little late, forcing him out of the pocket. And again, the pressure has been an issue.
58 seconds to go, 4th down.
Dylan Peterson from Stratford at 6'4" in Schramke's face. And
the field goal unit has come on the field.
Or is it a punt
Or it
unit?
is the punt unit,
That's what
excuse
it
me.
is. Now this is field position.
That is Sean Parker back to punt.
This is field position for a fake punt, but do you do it in this situation? I don't think so.
Timeout called by the Blue Devils.
So let's reiterate that. So down in distance, of course, but field position generally dictates whether you go for a fake punt or not, right?
Right.
So here you are in this field position on 38-yard line.
It's totally doable at this spot on the field.
The Eagles did it last week against Whitewater.
The trouble with doing it is if you don't convert, the Blue Devils have 2 timeouts remaining and 58 seconds.
If you're a gambler, and Mike Schmidt he's not conservative by nature. If he's a gambler, he may do it. But I don't know how much confidence coaches typically have in their punter, but some coaches allow an audible for a punter. If he sees an opportunity, it's up to him. I don't know if that's the case here, but I would directionally kick this ball.
Press coverage at the line.
Kick it to the right, directional punt. And that's what it is, too.
And it's off to the right. It bounds, and it's
close
at the 2-yard line. That is the punt of the day.
Yeah.
By Sean Parker.
That's exactly the way I want to chip my ball from about the 100 yards into the green.
Yeah.
Stop right there next to the cup. That was pretty.
Get the pitching wedge out.
The problem is
it
doesn't do that. Usually rolls off the other side of the green.
It doesn't agree with you. It doesn't.
Now let's kind of flip to the other sort of strategy. What do you do now? I think you just are very conservative and you play for the overtime. If you're
UW Stout is fortunate to be in this situation, and I think they're going to do just that. Stay within themselves, hand off, and breaks it out to the edge, and he's taken down at the 6.
Rayshawn Graham carries.
Graham with a good effort.
Well, you got to be careful that he doesn't bounce out, and Cole's check that. I mean, Flathers on the hit, but you got to be careful that he doesn't bounce one, Carl, and then just run to the promised land.
Got to run one more play before time will expire. There's a 1 second difference between the play clock and the game clock.
Well, you can take a delay of game,
They're going to take the delay of game, it looks like. The game clock should not have run out. It should read 1 or 2 seconds.
Problem with that.
Delay game. Offense. Clock operator. Put 1 second on the clock. Clock will start on the snap.
Problem with that is gives the Eagles another opportunity. Of course, I guess a timeout would be the same, wouldn't it? So I'll retract that.
Tight formation. And he will just kneel it, and that will end regulation.
Score at the end of regulation. Stout 23, La Crosse 23.
While they get set for their overtime, I want to remind you that the Mike Schmidt Coaches Show will happen this coming Tuesday, not Monday. At what time, Terry?
At 12 noon, lunch served at the at the Cleary and Friends Alumni Center.
So we are about to start our first overtime. For those of you unfamiliar with college football overtime rules, each team will get the opportunity to possess the football starting at the 25-yard line. And if the score is deadlocked after those two possessions, they'll go to another overtime.
Just for your information, UWL is 8-8 in all time in overtime contests.
So looking to break that deadlock.
Right, and get to the positive side.
And so they will have a coin toss, and we will determine who possesses the ball first with this coin toss. Obviously, you want to possess the ball second so that you know what you need to do to win the football game. Now, after two overtimes, if we get that far, no more PATs are allowed. You must go for two in the third overtime and further.
You've done your research.
I've watched a little college football in my time.
You have.
Lost his microphone there.
Coin flip. Winner of the coin flip will pick offense or defense. The loser will pick which end of the field we choose. And after the second overtime, the scoring team has to go for 2 points.
Heard that somewhere.
Yep. Jeff Linehan, the white hat in this crew.
Eagles call heads.
They want the defense.
Eagles win the toss, and they will play defense first.
Eagles won heads. What do you call when you flip a coin? You call heads or tails?
I go off of the very unscientific tails on turf.
Okay.
If it's a grass field, I'll call heads. If it's turf, I'll take tails. So
okay, now if you're analytical, and you do a study on the number of times a coin is flipped and the number of times heads lands rather than tails, what would that be?
It's probably 50-50. That's the supposed probability of a coin flip. So
you think so, huh? Has there ever been a study done, or has there been a study on everything
sure
else?
There has.
It'd be interesting to know. Well, I don't know why, but it's because.
But yeah, whenever I've played a football video game, that's what I've always based it on. If I'm calling the toss, I'll go tails on turf.
All right. Well, fortunately it worked heads on turf for the Eagles because they're on defense.
Glad they didn't listen to me, right?
Yeah, I am certainly glad. All right, Eagle defense. The time to shine.
And back to throw, incomplete.
Oh, it was a good pass and should have been caught.
Looking for Seymour there.
Yeah, Eagle defense though right there, and the first guy, Jake Gerzek, was ready to make the hit.
So the clock is no longer in play. The game clock does not matter. This is all untimed. It's a matter of will the possession end with a score or not. Jet sweep, back pass.
Oh.
And Borgerding is tackled in the backfield. The ball is taken.
Yeah.
I
think that was a good call.
They blew the whistle with forward progress stopped.
No, an absolute trick play, a deceiving play, and
it didn't work.
It didn't work, but credit to Eagles. I mean,
for staying home on that one.
I don't think they really looked at that as a possible play from a standpoint of scouting, but that was great defense.
3rd and 14. This is long field goal territory. So the Blue Devils trying to get some yardage back. Hit as he throws. The ball is loose. Eagles have it. There he goes. Rusty Murphy down the left sideline. He's got one man to beat. The Eagles have scored.
Hey!
Touchdown Eagles.
No penalties either. What do you think of that? Oh my gosh!
And as a result, the UW La Crosse Eagles have won the football game.
I am sorry if I'm hollering in this microphone. I'm sorry if I'm excited, but I am excited, so I'm not apologizing for anything because that was an incredible win, and there's no flags, and it was defensive pressure. And if I can just say this, rightfully so, and I hope I'm not criticized for this, but rightly so, the Eagles won because I think that penalty that should have been, that was not called, was critical.
On the touchdown that tied the game. But what a play by Rusty Murphy. The ball was jarred loose. Rusty Murphy gallops 65 yards for a touchdown, and no need for a PAT there as that ends the football game.
And that says
what a way to finish it, Terry.
And what a pleasant ride home it's going to be, and a pleasant Sunday in La Crosse, Wisconsin. There's no doubt about it. And hey, let's just kind of recover ourselves here, and let's talk about what was so dynamic about this game, and that was the resiliency and the fact that the Blue Devils came back and did such a miraculous job, I think, of holding their poise.
The resolve to come back, knowing that they pretty much had to resort to the air. And credit to Sean Borgerding and Tyler Seymour and Parker Fossum, all the receivers making plays. And it really was a big fourth quarter there. Borgerding went over 300 yards for the game.
Yeah, by the way, he's my player of the game. Sorry, but he is for the
Blue Devils. I would agree. Borgerding stood in there. He had a couple of interceptions, but one of those maybe not quite his fault. It may have been tipped at the line, but just an unbelievable finish. And what can you say? Rusty Murphy is going to be smiling from ear to ear on that bus ride home.
And hopefully Mike Schmidt puts him on, contacts him and says, "You are on my show on Tuesday," because
Terry, I think you have some control over that. If you want to talk Coach Schmidt into letting him be on the show, I think he'll oblige.
You said at the beginning, you referenced the fact that if the Eagles are going to make the playoffs at all, okay, they have to win out, and you're exactly right. And this is a step in that right direction, obviously, with Stevens Point coming up next. But they absolutely have to win out, and the Eagles are incredibly happy. The opposite on the other end with the Blue Devils, that is just a really
that's a killer.
That's a difficult loss, and the domination by UWL continues. The only loss in recent times, in 2011. The Blue Devils beat the Eagles, but this again continues for Mike Schmidt. He's 3-0 against the Blue Devils, but they came in 3-0. They got some votes on national ranking.
I don't see that
they're right.
continuing after this game, but
except they're better than I thought. There's some good talent here in Menominee.
I would definitely agree with that. And that makes 7 straight wins for the UW La Crosse Eagles after the little pep talk near the end zone there from Coach Schmidt. What a way to finish it with a final score, UW La Crosse 29, UW Stout 23. I'd like to thank you for watching UW La Crosse Eagle football on KQEG TV. For Terry Erickson and Luke on our camera, I'm Carl Greenfield. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon, everybody.
You've been watching Game Day, the University of Wisconsin La Crosse Eagles on KQEG TV. Today, the Eagles took on the UW Stout Blue Devils. Our game has been brought to you by Tri-State Auto on the Pike between La Crosse and La Crescent. The Arterial Bar and Grill. Join the party at the Arterial Bar and Grill, 16th and Jackson. Schumacher Kish Funeral and Cremation Services in La Crosse, La Crescent, and Onalaska. Honda Motorworks, your hybrid headquarters at 4th and Cass, La Crosse. Ace of La Crosse and Ace Sportsland in the Shelby Mall. and Howie's on Lacrosse. Before or after the game, make it Howie's on Lacrosse. Thanks for watching College Football on KQEG TV and KQEGTV.com.